All right, welcome back to another episode of the Slot One Super Podcast. This episode 36, Golden Week equals a golden era of EZAs because we have just continuously been getting crazy EZAs this year, and Golden Week is no exception. Now, of course, I do have my wonderful host with me, the Ningen and Dokkan Assets. Say hello, y'all.
Yo,
What's up?
how's it going, everyone?
And we have, again, lots and lots to talk about today. I feel like, even though I know last week I wasn't there, I assume you guys did play my little messages I left on the stream. I don't know if you did or not. I have no idea. But there was a lot to talk about last week. And now this week there is actually a decent amount of content still. Because we got the data download for next week's content as well. So there's a couple of things to really mention. But we're going to just hop straight into it. So about less than 2 days ago, pretty much, we got the EZA in game for TEQ Exchange Buu. And I think this is a very anticipated Extreme Z Awakening because he is, again, another damage reduction character. Usually characters with damage reduction end up looking really strong. Zamasu, Future Gohan, etc., especially on the release. And I think that this Buu is no exception whatsoever. Again, I've used him a couple of times, but I know that, most of the player base is global players. So actually, I'm interested to hear, Ningen, what's your thoughts on this Buu in regards to how he works on global? And then after, I'll give my thoughts on how he works on the extended JP contents.
So in terms of global, obviously he's very good. For us, we've been stuck in the same meta for a while, so having some new stages with the Buu Saga Red Zone is quite interesting. I did try him out in the Super Buu stage just to check, because obviously he does have the first two forms. He gets the extra buff if there's no Margin Power enemy. So if you're fighting a Margin Power enemy, you don't get the buff, and even then he's still really good. When you transform into Super Buu, especially because he has the multiple turn stack on his super, right? So the second turn after becoming Super Buu, he's already got higher defense than the previous turn. And so I know he's not like the hardest hitting boss compared to the JP content, but the the physical Fat Buu and Babidi from the end of the Babidi Forces stage apparently hits his super's like 1.4 million or something, and he tanks that for double digits like in slot 1 before attacking, and then does like a 19 million attack style. So although that depends on the rainbow orbs, I've seen a rotation with him linked up with LR Buhan, where I think I got like 3 rainbow orbs and he did like a 23 million attack stat or something. So he's really, really good because he can hit the kind of numbers that Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks can hit, but then rather than being sort of dodge or die when it comes to the big super attacks, he has like the 70% damage reduction to back it up. So he's it's very interesting to compare him with those other big EZAs because they need to dodge some of those bigger attacks, whereas he doesn't necessarily need to, which can potentially make him more consistent overall. Obviously, he's, what Buu's team needed, another really solid unit that actually can do a lot of damage. But Evil Buu is really good as well, because obviously he has the 50% dodge. Just in general, I found him really useful. The only thing I haven't really tried, because I think at this point on Global, we're all sick of doing that event, but I haven't actually tried him against Zamasu yet, because obviously his weakness is his first turn, just like Gotenks. He still has the damage reduction though, so I'm assuming that he doesn't take insane damage from Zamasu's AoE, but I don't actually know exactly how much he takes. But
because obviously, literally, go on.
Yeah, because he's got like, I don't know what his start of turn defense on turn 1 is usually somewhere between like 200 and 300k, and then he has 70% damage reduction. Zamasu's AoEs do like 500k, but he has type advantage, so he probably takes some damage, but he's not getting like, he's not like one of these units that, we just got bullied by the Zamasu event where they're taking like 300k from, the AoE and stuff, right? But
yeah, so I'm taking a look at it. This guy again, let's say he has 300k defense at a turn with 70% reduction. Based on what I'm seeing, he is taking double digits from Zamasu.
Well, there you go. So So yeah, in
before
terms
he's
of
super attack.
global, without having the anniversary content actually out yet, this guy kind of joins Kefla and Gotenks in that tier of like just absolutely stomping on like all the content that we have at the moment, which is awesome because obviously Kefla and Gotenks, they're very similar units. They're on a lot of similar teams because they're both fusions. I mean, one's Patara, one's fusion, but they're both fused fighters. They're both on Super Saiyans. They're both on Power Beyond Super Saiyan. So having an extreme character that is on that level again is quite nice. So yeah, overall, I think this Buu's super good. I've been very much enjoying using him. So yeah, they snapped with this EZA. Very happy with it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And again, I think the big thing is that he's damage reduction EZA. 70% damage reduction is just a huge number, right? Especially because he's still able to reach some pretty decent defensive levels. Like when we consider the damage reduction, right, of 70%, right? In his base form, usually I see him around like 400k defense, which again that's fine with the 70% reduction because these bosses, like at most, these bosses will hit you for like maybe 1.5 mil at most, besides Cell Max. But I took a look into like what he's able to do in Cell Max, and he is able to live a Cell Max super attack.
Okay.
Like as long as he supers first, right? He was able to live like a turn one Cell Max super, and that super attack hits for I believe 2.5 or 2.6, one of the two, right? But he was able to live that, and he takes about like 300 to 400 to 500k defense or so, give or take, right? Support, etc., etc. But he's able to live that super attack, and then the thing about the Buu team is that like even if he's taking like 50% of your health, 60% of your health. The difference between him and a character on another team, like a Saiyan character even, is that that team heals so much of your HP
Yeah.
back. So even though he could take even if he takes a lot of that damage in that turn, as long as he survives and your other characters take double-digit normals, then in those situations you're just able to recover so much HP the next turn,
Yeah.
right? If you have in Fat Buu, he recovers 20% HP at the end of the turn if you're under the 30% HP, right? Then you have the 20% start of turn. You have Buhan healing, the metamorphosis, or all those module links, right? You get a lot of healing through there, so that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm like not too pressed. Like if this guy can't always take double digits, like for
Yeah.
example, in the Beast Gohan fight, that fight is super class, so it hits a little harder. I had Super Boo before he super attacked, right? Well, he had a stack from the previous turn, but I had Tech Super Boo. I put him in slot one against Beast Gohan's super attack, and he took about 480k. But that team has about 600k defense, 600k HP, sorry, roughly. So with that, I take the 480k, all my units take double digits from the normal attacks, and then next turn I just recover back to like 70 to 80% of my HP
Mm.
because there's just so much HP recovery. And then I'm like, oh, I'm good, in that
Mm-hmm.
situation. So that's really important to consider. And Beast Gohan Super is one of the harder hitting supers that this guy could get hit by. Um, what I have found is that, certain super attacks, well, the only super attack that could really just straight up one shot this Super Boo when he's transformed, I found, is the Gogeta Blue super attack because I think it's pretty easily the hardest hitting super. Like all the other supers maybe hit from like 2 to 3 mil range, like the hardest hitting, but then his hits for 3.6, which is a pretty big jump. The only difference is, of course, we know he could be attack lord, but if you have Boo just like instantly against the Gogeta, and he only has like one stack of his defense and he just gets hit with a super, he just does get one shot. That's the only
Mm.
thing I found. But um again, if you consider that you could attack lower Gogeta, that's a lot. That's really helpful. So like again, I looked at it like let's say earlier in my tier list video that I made, I did do a little bit of the math, calculator stuff. But like if you are able to lower let's say you have like 600k defense and you're able to lower his attack to like about 3.2 mil, he does live that for about 500k damage taken, right? And the hypothetical scenario, which that's a little bit of attack lowering that you can get into Gogeta. So if you even have just a little bit of that attack lore on Gogeta, which is barely possible on the team, if we consider GP, we have Mr. Buu. Mr. Buu, the World Tournament character, really insane free to play character, providing rainbow orb changing. Um, I believe Babidi and Dabura also do lower attack as well. So like,
Mm.
you could think of a situation where you have both of the Inbu's Ghost Ushers. you just ghost dash for the first 2 turns, and then you attack lower these next few phases, or those turns as well, like Mr. Buu, Babidi and Dabura, and then Super Buu, like, is able to get his defensive stacks. He is able to live a super attack in situations like that. But besides that, he's able to do very well in all different kinds of content. Super Buu is able to push ahead with the damage, which I think is one thing that the Buu team really wants.
Yeah.
Besides, like, because we know Buhan has that like 50% attack buff every other turn, which, you know, he could do like a 22 mil attack stat into like 3 additional supers and he goes crazy. But this guy, I think, you know, something that might not be as consistent on global currently, because like I have the Mr. Buu, who is a double rainbow orb changer, but this guy I am able to very consistently get him, like especially on the turns with Mr. Buu on rotation, like 3 rainbow key spheres, 4 rainbow key spheres sometimes, and then he's like almost guaranteed critting and doing like 25 mil attack stats sometimes, up to 30 mil attack stats sometimes. And then he just does like one big crit damage shot while being able to live almost any super attack in most situations. And the thing, like, you know, if we consider the difference between Kefla and Gotenks, right, if we're comparing him to those other T-Wars, I think like Kefla and Gotenks have probably higher damage ceilings, but this Buu is going to be more consistent defensively, I think, in most areas of the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I think this Buu is better than those two, for example, but I don't think that it's like a thing where I would put him like a tier above. I think again, they're doing fantastic with EZAs. I think these EZAs are like in a general same tier, those 3 especially. And I'm very impressed with how this Buu is able to do. You know, again, even in short and long content, he has, again, that 70% reduction. So he's able to live very easily against a lot of these bosses. So I'm very proud of this Buu. I think they did an incredible job.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Theo, what do you think?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a lot about me yapping. What about you, Theo?
Yeah, no, I actually have used this guy myself. I tried him out on the I tried him out on a couple of different stages and whatever, and this was an EZA that I was quite excited for as well, to be honest with you. It's kind of funny, like, I'm not even really the biggest fan of Buu himself, I guess. It's not like I dislike him, you know, it's just like he's not like at the upper echelon for me, but I've always had kind of like a soft spot for this unit, I guess you would say, right? Like, where I've always kind of been like, man, I just really like this guy. He's cool. You know, like, I don't know. He's always just been a very fun unit. And I've always really enjoyed, you know, I've always really enjoyed using him. And obviously, you know, since villains are always so limited, I feel like we have to like mention this every time we talk about the villains. You know, since the villain options are so limited, you know, having like something that is actually like, dang, okay, this boy can cook. I remember this guy carried me through lots of events back in the day, you know, for like the categories that he was on. So I was very happy to see him get an EZA. And yeah, they cooked with his EZA for sure. I was very impressed, to be honest with you. I actually, too, I was running him for my first test. Granted, I was giving him, like, pretty much, like, not, like, optimal conditions, but, you know, like, I was giving him, like, you know, I was giving him the goods. I had him next to, because I pulled the new Int Buu. I had him next to Buu, right? And, man, he was just going crazy. Like, I don't know. I just didn't expect, like, because I got the Super Buu transformation. I was like, oh, okay, you know, he'll be cooking a little bit. You know, we'll see what he can do. And then all of a sudden, brother's ripping, you know, all these super attacks, like, over and over and over. And I was like, he just beat the stage on his own. So, yeah, I was... I'm very pleased with how he came out, honestly. I think that it's really cool, too, because obviously not only is it just another good villain unit, but, you know, also, like, Majin Power, like, went from, like, kind of like a, yeah, it's all right sort of team to, like, man, the team is really cracked. I'm not going to lie. You know, you have a bunch of really, really solid options for Majin Power. You know, Minato is just talking about the Mr. Buu. Obviously, we have the Buhan EZA. We have the new Buu, right? I mean, even 21 you could put on there, right? The support Buu, right? The Fizz support unit Buu. Obviously, he's on there as well, right? I know there's a couple of other options, too. So, I don't know who, like... I don't know who at the offices was like, yeah, it's time to give Buu some love. We gotta give some respect to the GOAT. But yeah. But I'm happy about it, honestly. I'm glad, and it's always like too. I think the other thing for me is obviously, I care about what the unit does when it comes to an EZA too, but I also want it to be good. And this may be a little bit silly to say, but like from the perspective of like, for a lot of these units in Dokkan, even if it's not my favorite Dragon Ball character, I'm always kind of nostalgic to the character, if that makes sense, like the specific unit in Dokkan, just because like, they came out at a time, obviously like was really enjoying the game and still am now, of course, but it's like, these characters that you kind of like sort of grow a weird soft spot for, even though they're just a bunch of ones and zeros with some funny PNGs associated for them, it's always nice to see them do a character good. So yeah, I'm very glad that they did a very good job with him. It's nice too that I feel like because before this point, with the place that he was at, I feel like maybe you could still like it. Definitely depended on the event. We're not talking like super high level content or anything. But I remember I was even trying to use this guy, I think on like an ESBR right before he EZA'd. And like the problem really wasn't the transformations. It was the first stage where he's just Buu. Like kept dying because he just kept getting nuked because, he just wasn't strong enough to be able to take the attacks or whatever. So I'm glad that, obviously they were going to make the base stage stronger, but I'm glad too that at least from, like that little experience, it's nice that I feel like I can use him and not be like, okay, I need to hide him, until I can actually get him out to the stronger form, right? It's like I can just, put him in the thick of it and my boy will be cooking. So, yeah, I'm very excited about it. I don't know, I think this may be like probably the last Majin buff for a while. I don't know. Is there really another character who's like a big Majin character who would be getting another EZA soon? I don't think so, right?
I mean, Super EZAs, I think, is one thing, but like
yeah, I guess Super EZAs, but not regular. I don't think, right?
I mean,
sorry, don't worry,
like,
don't worry.
Like,
Part 2 LR Kid Buu is coming to say.
That's true.
I think
That's
there's
true.
if we're talking about banner units, there's Buu Piccolo that can get one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
There is the physical Buu tanks TUR.
Yeah, I was gonna bring him up.
There's the
Dude.
STR Fat Buu. Hasn't got an
True.
EZA.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Him. That is the next unit that I really hope like they actually do good.
AOE guy.
Yeah, he's cool. I like that unit a lot, but they've always just like I don't know. I swear they. Well, I mean, obviously it's because he only gets one EZA, but like they dropped him and then he was cracked for a little while, and then Bro's been laying dormant. So, oh yeah, and Skinny Buu actually. Yeah, Fit Buu. Fit Buu definitely. Fit Buu is a unit that I really want.
TEQ Exchange Buu and Gotenks, right?
Say it again.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't he like come out or no? He awakened with the TEQ Exchange Buu models, did he not? The skinny.
I think so. I don't remember. It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
I'm like so sure that the Shape Up Buu awakened with those models.
Funny enough, too.
He does. I knew it.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Funny enough, like man, when you're mentioning, like the Buu tanks, the Fizz Buu tanks, I was looking at it the other day because I was looking at like the Dokkan Wiki for whatever, and I was like, man, why are there so many Fizz Super Boos specifically? Like, I swear half the Super Boos in the game are Fizz. I don't know why, like they have such a weird fixation on making him a physical unit, but either way. Yeah, I'm glad that the the Majin team got some love. Oh, and I guess it's nice to see
it in the future, huh?
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, true. And not to mention, STR Kid Buu will eventually get an EZA. So that will be nice when that happens. But yeah, it's good to see. Like, I think the team is at a very good place because the team is still really good, but like we were just saying with all these other units, there's still a lot of more potential for it to grow even more, honestly. So that also bodes well for the future of hopefully more Majin Buu Saga celebrations, because I know people were like, well, we're not getting a Buu Saga celebration forever after this one. But anyway, Sorry, I went off on a bit of a tangent, but regardless, though,
I mean, it's related to Exchange View because this is the one team that he's good on, right? I think that's the only thing about Exchange View is, I wouldn't really run him on any other team. Like, just basically, I mean, Extreme Class Buu Saga is the same thing as Majin Power for the most part, right?
Yeah.
So it's like just very similar teams, and I wouldn't really run them anywhere else because you just want to run them with the boost, especially because you need that Majin Power ally in rotation. So like, if you try to run them on another team and you like want to partner up with one Majin Power character, but you're in a situation where I can't get them on rotation for a while, then you're stuck with losing out on 30% reduction, right? And that's pretty massive. So that's the only thing I would say. But yeah, Exchange View, really good EZA. I think we all do agree upon that.
Yep.
Now, before we do continue on, I just want to let y'all know if you want to help support the podcast, have any questions, comments, or shout outs you want to do, any super chats and all donations are going to be read out at the end of the show. Again, we appreciate all of you for just even coming here, but if you just want the extra support, that option is available. Next, we do have another EZA character, and we did touch on him a little bit, at least I did specifically. Apparently the guys didn't talk about this last week. You know, they can't do anything without me. I'm sorry, but okay.
We had more important matters to discuss.
I forgot he existed, to be honest.
Look at these global players, and you know what? I'll touch upon this a little bit too. They forgot that there's new battlefield bosses on JP, and they didn't talk about that either.
We were talking about this before the podcast. It was so funny. Minato was like, "Yeah, did you play the new battlefield yet?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course. I already beat it. I was, like getting stones from it to summon." And he was like, "Did you notice there are new bosses?" I was like, "No." I was like, "I just got my dragon stones that got out, bro. What do you mean?"
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll touch on it briefly because Global's been skipping at like Battlefield, so this could come sooner than you may think on Global. It could be by August, because they're skipping a lot of these battlefields. But again, there's just a couple new bosses. I mean, we know the first few phases don't really matter. Like, level 1, level 2. There's a Kaba boss. Into Kaba as a boss. He's physical this time, but I hate him. So
Everybody's favorite unit.
Loser.
People love that
when he gets
guy.
an EZA. I hope he's bad.
That's crazy.
He's the only character I hope is bad in EZA. But again, there's a lot of Majin Power enemies: Skinny Buu, Fat Buu. There's Kid Gohan and Garlic Jr. And the final boss is Metal Cooler. He could super you 3 times in a turn. Which is interesting. He can debuff you. He does different super attacks. So one of them greatly lowers your attacking defense. Then the other one greatly raises his own attacking defense. He has HP recovery. He could dodge you. He's a little troublesome. Again, like any other Battlefield boss, he's not too difficult. You could attack lower him. You could defense lower him, or it doesn't really matter though. I think you could also even seal him potentially. You might be able to seal him, but I know you could debuff him, and when I fought him, it wasn't really too bad because he's AGL, so I had like Tech God Goku, right? But since he is a Metal Cooler, for example, you can't bring like Kelm Caulifla, specifically Tech Caulifla, right? You can't bring her to like cheese with the guarantee dodge, unlike the past few ones have been like Universe Survival Saga or Pure Saiyan enemies, right?
Yeah.
So this one's interesting, right? Because I think the one on Global right now and the one GP used to have is Blue Evolution Vegeta as the final boss. So yeah, I think it's cool, just giving us new bosses, increasing the rewards. And I think, he's a relatively difficult boss, but I just wanted to touch on him real quick and let y'all know that there are upcoming new bosses for the Battlefield stage. And, big reason is because Babidi and Dabura are a Battlefield EZA. So we'll just talk about them real quick. I'm not sure if you use some Dokkan assets. I know Ningen literally cannot use him because he's on Global. And they didn't bring out the EZA in Global because I think Global is still catching up with Battlefields. I think you guys got the LR Fortnite, LR Frieza and Cell.
LR Fortnite.
Yeah, I just did. I just did a showcase for them today. I'd completely forgot about them. They went into the shop on Wednesday morning, and I bought my 1 copy. Like trained them up to 150 SA20 and then forgot they existed until this morning.
Yeah, I don't know. They're not good.
No.
They fumbled with them. it sucks because it could have been such a great GT Bosses edition.
The thing is, I don't know what Theo you think about it. I can't remember if we talked about them when they came out. We probably did when they first came out on JP. But like aesthetically, I think they're really cool, and like their animations are cool. But like,
Yeah.
they suck.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. It's so weird because like it's first of all, like even just outside of everything, the concept of Frieza and like
No.
I almost said Cooler. Frieza and Cell. I could not remember that green dude's name.
Concept too.
Yeah, that's true. But like that's such a cool concept for a unit, right? Obviously they're taking it from that GT episode. And like I don't know, I was just like, man, this is such a cool thing like to just kind of use on a like Battlefield LR. And like we said, yeah, their animations are honestly really good. You know, but you're right, they're just so stinky. Like I don't get it. I wish they were a lot better because honestly, I feel like that's such a, I don't want to say like a thrown away opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's such like a missed opportunity or something.
Yeah.
I don't know how exactly you would like say it, but
well, plus it's like GT Bosses is a team that could really do with like a nice
buff,
and then
really use a buff.
even with how they are, they're probably still one of the best GT Bosses units, which is saying
crazy.
something. Yeah. I mean, maybe not one of the best. Like they're not like when you're putting your 6 units on the team, you're definitely using them. But depending on the event, you kind of are like. What's funny is GT Bosses is one of the only category teams that I've been going back and doing like on streams, just to, you know, as you do when you get new content. I've been taking a bunch of like older categories into that Babidi's Forces stage. And like GT Bosses is basically the only one that I haven't been able to beat it with yet. Because something just always goes horribly wrong like near the end. And
that's funny.
Yeah, it's not great.
The GT gentlemen are not cooking.
But who knows? Eventually he'll easy and maybe Fortnite will be good.
Hopefully. Well, I mean, if this guy's easy as anything to go off of, you know.
Well, yeah.
I mean, so I guess just got a topic again about the Babidi and Dabura. This guy's easy is pretty good. I think they actually did cook very well. Again, guys, it's so easy to just give a character support and 70% dodge. Like crazy, isn't it? But how this guy does work is he does have a 20% chance to dodge per Buu Saga category ally in the same turn. Then if the entire rotation is Buu Saga, he gets an extra 10% chance to dodge. So I guess the only thing about this is like if you're running in Buu's team and you have Hirudegarn floating around or like Hirudegarn on rotation, like that's gonna mess this guy up where he's only gonna be getting 40% chance to dodge. So you really want to run full Majin Buus, which I think, you know, by the end of the month, that'll be super easy to do. But right now, you're a little stressed, like to a point where sometimes you may have to run Hirudegarn depending on the event.
I was going to say, I think with the EZAs that we've got now that we have TEQ Buu on the team, I've been running Hirudegarn still on Buu's team, but I just float him because...
I mean, you could float up, or what you could do is, like, I think I think there's another just entirely, like, you know, different kind of topic that we can even go into for a while. We're not going to do it now, but I'm saying in general, people like when they run the Majin Buu team, they don't realize you could just throw Super Saiyan 3 Goku on there. You could throw in Gotenks on the Buu team, like, you know, because it's Majin Buu Saga. So, like, sure, they're not going to get like some of their links, like they won't get Super Saiyan or stuff like that. But like Super Saiyan 3 Goku is so powerful. Like even without some of those links active, with just Fierce Battle, you're floating him around, he's still doing like triple 10 mils with like 80% crit chance and still with 90% damage reduction at turn 1. You know what I mean? So like he's also a character that can help push the damage. TEQ Gotenks on GP, you could throw him out there, he pushes the damage a lot well on the team. You know, in case you do need more damage specifically. So like even they would count as Majin Buu Saga characters if you're running this Babidi and Dabura. But yeah, I mean this guy, the Buu Saga team is really good. He could multiple super attack, he debuffs, like he lowers attack on his 12Q, which I find very useful. His typing also really good for the game right now. There's a lot of STR bosses. He's the AGL and he debuffs. That's really good. He also gets extra stats if an enemy's debuffed, and 70% crit chance too, which is nice. So again, that'll be useful against Cell Max. That'll be useful against Blue Gogeta. and I do like the support as well. So overall, with decent stats, right? 70% dodge, everything like that. I think they did incredible for a free to play EZA. I think this guy is really, really, really good. So that's my take. Again, I don't know if any of you guys have used them, but I've been consistently using them in all these events. Even I don't even have him rainbowed or link level 10. I never actually bothered to link level 10 him, but I'm working on that right now. And like I have him at 79%. He still cooks, right? I mean, at the end of the day, 79% is what's really important. I just like there's like so little battlefield currency, just so
Yeah,
tough.
that's the biggest
Yeah.
problem. Because I never bothered to get the extra copies, because obviously when they first came out, even back then, and it's kind of, you know, branching off from what we're saying about Frieza and Cell, it's the same thing, right? It's Battlefield LRs. I talked about this in the video I did today. I pretty much called the video the same thing, but like, I don't see what the point of them still doing Battlefield LRs is, or at least doing them the way that they do them. They should give out more currency and just have all 5 copies available straight away, because they don't design these characters so that, like, if you could rainbow, like, obviously they're older now because they did come out on JP before, but like, if you could buy all 5 copies of Cell and Frieza right now and have them rainbow, they're not like the best free to play unit in the game or anything. So like, why does it matter? But then you have to wait. Like on global, we're not going to be able to rainbow them for like at least 6 months, and then they're just not going to be usable by the time you can rainbow them.
You can't rainbow them on GP.
Well, yeah, and so like for Babidi and Dabura, when they first came out, they weren't good at like 55% or even at 69%. So I never bothered buying the extra copies for them. And with all the EZAs and stuff that we've had, the things that you have to spend your Battlefield memories on, I worked it out today on Wednesday after I bought Frieza and Cell. I could buy the 4 dupes that I need to rainbow Babidi and Dabura, but then that would be like, that's all my Battlefield memories gone. Which is crazy, because I mean, like, I do have all of the LRs. I don't think I have them all rainbowed. I know I rainbowed Hachiak because we got his last copy, I think, like last month.
That go.
But yeah, like, it would be basically all of my Battlefield memories to EZA these guys. So then if they to rainbow them. So then if they got their EZA for global, let's say at like the end of Golden Week, right, and they pushed it out a bit early for global, I probably wouldn't have enough Battlefield memories to actually buy their EZA medals, which is just crazy. Like, they're just everything in that Battlefield shop is way overpriced for the amount of currency you get, and that's bearing in mind that obviously I'm somebody that can easily clear it like every time. And so if you're somebody out there who like can't or like struggles to actually clear the entire thing, it's like, good luck having all of these characters fully maxed out.
I mean, and this is we're people that have been playing Battlefield since the beginning.
Yeah.
Imagine missing out on like 50 Battlefields worth of memory, and then there's all these characters. It's like going to be impossible to get them all.
Yeah,
like, because especially when they keep adding characters, you're like literally never, unless you only get 1 copy of each, you're literally never going to be able to max out these characters, easy all these characters.
Yep.
It's really dumb how they do it, and I feel like it's so like, okay, Battlefield is supposed to be something for longer term players anyways, but when you reach that level to be able to complete Battlefield consistently, but then you didn't start when Battlefield started, you're still penalized because you didn't play the game 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You know? So,
yeah, that is a funny way to think about it, but it's true.
That's something that they never really considered, or it's something that we don't even really like in the community talk about. No one brings it up because a lot of people in our community like Battlefield, like new Battlefield stuff comes out every like few months, and no one talks about it. Maybe because
I think part of the problem is that, like, because that's the way that it's set up, people like, you just at this point see it as like, oh, just another thing to get a couple of dragon stones from and then never touch it again, right? Like, in terms of like the shop, I feel like people don't even really, like, at this point even like care about what's in there, really. Like, maybe if you need a couple extra Kais or something, right, then you go in there and you grab them. But
and if you grab Kais and stuff like that, you're literally like
nerfing yourself in terms of getting the unit. But it's like, as crazy it is to say, I almost feel like it's more valuable to like get the other stuff, because realistically, like, I mean, obviously it depends on the case, right? Because for like Babidi and Dabura here, it's a case of like, well, definitely until they got the EZA, you probably weren't going to be using them. But now that they have it, right? Obviously, they're usable now, and the thing that stinks though is that now if you want them because they're usable, you probably can't get them if you're, not somebody who's been playing for a really long time, because obviously, like we said, you're missing out on all that currency. So it's just a broken system that I feel like people have kind of like, I guess, just given up on is the best way to say it, because like people don't talk about it because people just don't care anymore. It's like, we've just accepted that this is the way that it's going to be. And, it is what it is type of thing.
What's crazy as well is I'm looking at the list now. So I do actually have all of the other LRs rainbowed. But like I say, if I bought all the 4 copies of Babidi and Dabura, I'd have no Battlefield memories yet left. But I only just have enough to buy those 4 copies. But that's because I've never been someone, I don't really care as much about the, collection aspect, in the sense of like, I have to have every card. If they're a card that's not particularly good. So like, I'm somebody who I've been playing since Battlefield was first added into the game. I've never bought any copies of that STR Super Saiyan 2 Goku or the physical Majin Vegeta. If you bought the copies of them to rainbow them, then good luck rainbowing the LRs then, because you just
that's what I did,
because they cost like 30,000 each, right? So that's like 150,000. That's 300,000 Battlefield memories that you spent like however long ago to get that unit that has pretty much never been good since release. And that 300,000 would have got you a copy of one of the LRs. It's just crazy. Like, they need to, and because they keep making each one of the LRs that comes out cost more as well.
There's also the Krillin and 18, right?
Yep.
Like I have the Goku and Vegeta rainbowed. I don't have the Krillin and 18 rainbowed. I never got them.
Yeah, I remember actually. I got the 18 back when I was struggling to try and do the Androids ESBR no items before the TEQ Androids came out, and I was literally trying everything I could think of. So I got that 18 from the Battlefield shop because it was another different Android unit. But
one thing I do know is that I have because on JP there was the original Battlefield, right? And I did play both times the Battlefield 1.1 is there, so I do have extra memory from those, and that's why I was able to get the Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Vegeta. But like, for example, my Frieza and Cell only have the one copy of them. My Sin is 90%, and then my Babidi and Dabura is the character I skipped on, but they are 90%. No, they're 79% still, actually. Yeah, I haven't gotten them a dupe or anything. So like, I'm like, those characters, I literally I'm unable to rainbow them and haven't been able to, and then I haven't even been able to touch anything else in the shop. I haven't been able to get the Krillin and 18. They need to get much more Battlefield memory. I think that's one thing. But yeah, I see some people in the chat. They're like, I only go in there for the reverse awakening medals. Can't you get those from Green Gems?
Yeah, I think so.
You can, yeah.
So like,
wait, hold on, who is running out of reverse medals?
Like,
those are the easiest thing to get in the game.
You get reverse medals from Green Gems. I think that's, if you're like, okay, sure, I understand going into there getting the reverse gems from there. I would not recommend it. I would recommend using your green gems and doing
definitely
boost on your
not.
link level stages every day, and it's very easy to get green gems. Which is, green gems are like the easiest things to farm now. So I would recommend saving your memory for other stuff that's in there at the very least. But that's me. And you said imagine grinding the game. Well, if you are grinding the game, if you're playing Battlefield, aren't you?
Yeah, no one plays Battlefield for fun, I assume.
I mean, I don't know. I see. Here's the thing about Battlefield. Genuinely, like I don't know if this is like a dumb thing to say, and it's ironic considering the fact that I just talked about like, I didn't even pay attention to the bosses really, but like, I think it is honestly one of my favorite game modes. Like, I don't know if that's silly to say, but
it's fun because you're able to bring
fun.
A bunch of these characters.
Yeah,
you haven't really used them sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't use like Angel or Gohan outside of Battlefield as my leader, or like these 60% supports. I don't really like Tech Tien. I'm never using Tech Tien, but in Battlefield I use Tech Tien because he's a great leader, right?
Yeah, it's fun because you don't run mono teams anymore, so it is fun running some of those other teams. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Battlefield, I guess it's one of those things. I don't go out of my way to play it because it's not like, yes, a new Battlefield kind of thing. But I agree, I guess, to a certain extent. Like, it is kind of fun to play in the sense that it's not super difficult. It's one of the few places that we still use mono teams. So it's kind of fun to use different team builds and some characters that you don't really use anymore.
Yep.
But yeah, I never go out of my way to go crazy because I think we talked about this before. But like, you obviously, whenever there's a new battlefield reset, you get those missions for completing the whole thing like 3 times. And I know some people literally will just smash out like 3 clears like in a row.
I'm not gonna lie, I do one clear.
I do one, and then obviously then the next week we always get that mission on a Monday where it's like just beat 3 stages to get some extra battlefield memories. So then I do a whole nother clear so that I get those missions done and
a
the
billion of
other
battlefield
ones.
memories.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, I do those Monday missions every week where it's like beat 3 stages. So I get the maximum possible battlefield memories that you can get. And I still don't have enough to get like all the units in the shop. Like, it's crazy.
I should probably do those. I probably would be able to have grabbed another LR by this point.
Well, yeah, I think you get like 6,000 more every Monday, which doesn't sound like a lot in one go. But if you're doing it every week, then yeah, it does add up over time.
That's 24,000 each month.
Yeah, and you need like 300,000 to buy an LR. So
I mean, if I did it for the past like again 4 years, I would have been able to probably find Garrett at this point.
Bro, isn't that crazy to say out loud? Like, what kind of egregious nonsense is that?
I just forget about it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tell you guys a sin.
Sin.
I forgot to do the last burst mode.
What?
Oh no!
I completely forgot about it, and then I realized the day after I was like, "Oh my god, I never did it."
Wow.
I got really
Dokkan YouTuber over here. Minato fell off.
Look.
That's crazy.
It happens. Sometimes you forget. It's not like I need the stones. I would have just like the extra burst mode currency.
I only like, obviously when the new burst mode comes out, I do it because it's another video. Get the 6,000 points with the teams. It's good. Plus we had that funny thing on Global that we talked about the other week where we had the thing where it was like, this is Amatsu's high score. So I did like an extra video because I did the original one getting 6,000
how did you not do it when we had that?
And then they were like, this is Amatsu's new high score. So I was like, right, I got to do another one and beat Amatsu's new high score.
All I'm gonna do is when the burst mode comes on Global, I'll just make a how to beat this burst mode video. And then it'll be basically the same thing, you know? Surely, you know. But yeah. Anyways, beyond that, let's move on. Babidi and Buu are pretty good. We do have a legendary campaign plus EZA coming for one of the prime battle LRs, and this is LR Babidi and Buu, another extreme class Majin Buu saga character. Now, this character is coming to both Global and GP, unlike Babidi and Dabura, which is GP only. Babidi Buu, they are seemingly pretty decent. They don't come out until the 8th, so they're not out for another week.
Yeah.
But another 4 days basically.
Yeah.
But
they'll be out by the next episode.
I think they will be on. We will have been able to use them. I think they seem to be a pretty decent LR again. So this is something coming to Global. I'm assuming Ningen, you did look at the details of the character.
I did have a look because they come out the same day as Gohan, don't they? So I think someone had posted their details like just after the Gohan details stuff had all come out. So
I mean, did you look at them? Or
I definitely remember reading it on the video that I made at the time, but it's
this guy, fake Dokkan fan. Like, I got this. Or Dokkan assets. Have you read the details?
I've looked at it a little bit. I don't remember it like exact off the top of my head, but from what I I looked. I mean, it's not like I can quote you like the exact percentages or whatever.
Literally, I can use a unit like 1 or 2 times and still not remember what their full passive is. I haven't got this guy yet.
I don't got that photographic memory, bro. But no, they're good though. From reading their kit, they actually seem pretty solid, which is good. And again, more Majin power options, so that's pretty cool.
This is not a Majin power character, but
he's not.
No,
because
I guess because of
Babidi. Yeah, which is weird.
That's right.
Yeah,
so that's so stupid.
I mean, it's kind of dumb. And the one thing about this character I don't like is that they do not share links with a lot of these boost characters. This guy has Master Magic, Thirst for Conquest, Nightmare. Boos don't get those.
Master.
Somebody
Who else
posted
has
a,
Master of Magic?
Somebody posted a thing earlier actually in my stream this morning. They share, considering the unit is literally Fat Buu and Babidi, they share 0 links with the Tech Exchange Buu, like in phase
What?
1 when he's Fat Buu. So they share 0 links with him.
That's bad.
Crazy.
The SSR and G War. Well, the SSR is Babidi. So
Right. That's
Babidi.
right. That's
It's not
right.
Majin Buu and Babidi. If it was Majin Buu and Babidi, then it would probably be based on Majin Buu links, right? But
Yep.
it is.
We need to retcon this, man.
So unfortunately, this character shares 6 links with LR Babidi, 4 links with LR Fortnite. You know, it's,
Yes, let's go.
you do share 3 links with LR Super Buu, which, you know, apparently people have been saying that character's gotten a resurgence. I think he's still
Hell
alright. I don't think he's anything special, but you know, he can cook like as a floater, I guess.
Main rotation, baby.
Global moment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
literally put up a video like what? It's going to be 3 hours ago now, which is literally called the legendary glow up of LR Super Buu because he's so good. He's so good now.
I don't know, bro.
One could eat a 1.5 mil super.
Yeah, he's so good.
It's so funny. I don't know. I swear, like, even I didn't even pull him when he came out. I pulled him a little bit later. And, like, I've used him a lot, like, recently. It's so funny. Like, I still really like the character. But I'm like, I feel like he's not, like, anything crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not using him right or something. I don't know.
He always had potential.
He's okay. Like, he's not bad, right? I don't think certainly there's units on the team that are worse than him. But, like, I'm not like, wow, he's insane. You know? It's just like, I mean, he's
not, like...
We didn't get guaranteed guard, I think, you know.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is he's not crazy, but it's just interesting for a unit that when he came out, he was very much like lost. Like he didn't have a 200% lead. He didn't have any meta relevant Buu like link partners. And we talked about this on the podcast loads of times, right? Where they do those things where like Dokkan Fest Turles comes out, but they don't EZA LR Turles. So like they never have these partners that are relevant at the same time. And then this guy, now fast forward to, I mean, for Global, he's actually not a year old, but technically on JP, he is over a year old now. And now this Buu Saga Red Zone is coming out. He's got a proper 200% team with a bunch of new Buu characters, including EZAs. And like, he's just really like, in the Majin Buu Red Zone specifically, like he's really, really good, which is cool for a unit that's a year old to basically be able to say that the new Red Zone that is coming out now, this unit is actually really good in it when he's like a year old. I think it's kind of cool. Because yeah, he gets that guaranteed guard. He's doing like 19 million attack. The first stage actually has multiple enemies, so the fact that he does an AoE is actually kind of relevant finally. But yeah, he's cool. Like post super, he lives all the supers from the 2 stages that we have so far for that Red Zone. So I think he's pretty cool.
I mean,
absolutely.
I like how we're talking about Babidi and Buu, and then we're like, oh, Subaru. But
all the Boos. I mean, we got like 3 different Boos in the thumbnail, baby. It's all about the Boos.
True.
I mean, it's technically all from Tech Buu, but still 3 different forms of Buu.
Yeah.
So you know.
I mean, I get this guy seems like he'll be decent though. He's like
I think it looks interesting.
He has 50% dodge in him. He could get stats when he debuffs the enemy. He does have debuffs built in, which, you know, I do like. Well, high chance of stun and high chance of steal. I'll take it, right? You know, definitely pretty nice. I do like that he does debuff the enemy 20% attack and defense for 4 turns after dodging. I think that's actually pretty good in the Gogeta fight. That 20% debuff. You know, I think that'll really help out. Like I was talking about what's his face. Tech Super Buu, right? When you get him transformed, the exchange Buu.
Yeah.
And like that 20% debuff was going to be mass for him in terms of living that super. But he is physical. And again, like, you know, a lot of these harder hitting bosses, a lot of them could be STR. So like physical is not like, if we're talking about the hardest fights like Cell Max, Gogeta, you know, like Star Hope Trunks has an STR phase. There's a lot of STR phase bosses. Like even the Super Buu fight right now, the first phase is STR. This guy doesn't dodge. Maybe he can get caught, but he does have at least the chance to dodge, the high chance. And you know, for a free to play character, I think he does look pretty solid. So I think that's cool. I think the only thing I would have added to this guy is maybe key support, because he's not sharing like the greatest links with these other Majin characters, but that's really all I would do. Or like, oh, they could have given him Rainbow or PNG. I think that would have worked really well, especially for Global, who doesn't have Mr. Buu. But that's
Yeah.
that's it. That's all I'm gonna say about this guy. I think when he's in game, maybe we'll have a better idea of him, but we can only go off his details for now, unfortunately.
Yeah, it definitely looks good. And that's the thing, for a free-to-play card, because we've seen some of these like Prime Battle LR EZAs, or just free-to-play unit in general EZAs, be like hits or misses over the last few months. So he seems like he could be pretty good. So looking forward to
I
that.
think so too.
Yeah.
I agree. But yeah, this guy seems pretty solid, and there's not much else to say though. So we'll move on to the next segment here, and I believe, yep, it's
Is
gonna
this-
be.
Is this the big
Well,
one?
one thing I would say is make sure you get this done because there are free stones. Easy him right or awaken him right now, and make sure you just I think you could also just SA 25 for him eventually, and easy him. It's literally like 30 to 40 free stones or something, and you get the Kais back. You get Kais for farming him free to play. Just farm this character. You get a lot of good rewards. You even get the hidden potential orbs back. It is worth it.
And the power level bonus does make it less of a pain sometimes as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting those
And then
extra drops.
If you really want to wait until legendary campaign starts, there is going to be the category boost added. So that's another thing. But let's talk about him just a little bit. This guy's not in game yet either, but he also comes out on the 8th of May, which is Gohan Day. The big boy, TEQ Ultimate Gohan.
Let's go.
Oh
Extreme
boy.
Now I remember seeing the tweet come up, and I was like, it's real. And my tweet was like, keyboard smashing. And
Dude, it
then
was so out of nowhere too.
I rushed to go translate as fast as I could.
What's so cool about it is that we all basically knew that there was going to be a data download. So that was the thing we were waiting for, not a tweet, right? So like, even for me, we've talked about this before, right? Like when the JP data download is, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning for me. So I got up to make a video about whatever was going to be in the data download. So there's me sitting down, at my PC, still half asleep. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Open up Twitter, and then boom, like TEQ Gohan EZA tweet, and I was like, "What?" So good.
I woke you up for sure, huh?
It definitely did, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I remember I was just translating it, and then I sent the tweet, and then like 2 minutes later, the data download happened on Global and GP, and then a little bit after on Global, right? But I did the translations before that happened, and I think it's the highest liked translation post I made. It hit
Ever, really?
Yeah, I think it hit
I'm not
about
surprised.
4.5.
Awesome.
It hit about 4.5k likes.
Yeah, I think
it might be higher at this point, but
yours did the same as well, right? But like it was easily like in terms of the time to like views, it was like the biggest view video for
it was 1 out of 10. Yeah,
when it comes to any of those like announcements of like this unit is getting an EZA, it's probably like the quickest viewed one out of any of the most recent ones, like because
I don't know how
people just love this unit.
I mean, yeah, mine's way better than like Exchange. But like my Exchange View video, I think capped out. In fact, I could literally check like the EZA details for Exchange View capped out at about like 1.5k, and then my TEQ Gohan breakdown video capped out 6.5k. So like I'm like, people were excited.
I could see it was literally like it had been up for like 5 minutes and it already had like, or like 10 minutes and it already had like a few hundred views. So I was like, okay,
yeah, exactly.
people are
Cooking.
I remember I got a screenshot of it, and then I was like 5.8k views, and I was like, oh my god, Gohan! I could take a screenshot of that video.
I mean, I think he's probably like, I mean, I feel like we say this a lot, but I think legitimately one of the most anticipated EZAs of all time. I mean, like
just in general as a character, he means so much to the community.
Yeah.
Whether you like him or hate him, he's such a big.
He's a predominant figure.
He's a predominant figure, whether you think he's famous or infamous.
Yep.
He's
True.
big,
That's a good way to describe it.
I mean, yeah, I think that he was.
One might say he's him.
For me,
has to be so bold.
Again, if you guys watched my concert or knew me from like, especially like in 2020, when TEQ Ultimate was coming out 2021. The Hybrid Saiyans team was at its peak. I thought the Hybrid team was the best team in the game, arguably by far, especially by the end of that year. It was such a crazy team, and this guy was the backbone of that team even then. And even post 7th anniversary power creep, he still held on. And I only really felt like he kind of half fell off, really, like post 9th anniversary, and he was still able to be decent, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So now with an EZA, I mean, this guy is full resurgence back into here. The biggest thing, obviously, the real change that they added to him, besides increasing his stats, like we thought, like they just were going to increase his stats, was they gave him additional super attack chances, and I think that's huge. So before, obviously, we knew he didn't have any additional supers, but now he has an additional with a 70% chance to be a super, and then from the third attack he performs for the rest of the battle, he gets another additional attack which has a 70% chance to be a super. So with that in mind, he is able to turn 1 get 4 super attacks and get 4 50% attack and defense stacks for the rest of the battle, and he could do that for the rest of the battle. Now, again, it is a great chance, so you're not going to get every single additional super attack off, but, like, you know, he doesn't... another great thing I think they changed about him is that they changed his build-up key to just being 3 key start of turn, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good.
It's, like, let's say in the Buu Saga team, if running on Super Saiyan 3 Goku team, which I probably wouldn't run him on that team, but, like, let's say the Majin Buu team, you could throw him on there as another stacker. He gets key, so he doesn't really have to worry about missing a super potentially. And I think the biggest thing I love about that, what they added to the base form, is they gave him the 30% reduction in extra defense in the first turn, and that's just going to make him so good against Cell Max, for example, or any short form content. Whereas, like, he gets 4 super attacks, and then he has 30% reduction plus guard, and then his defense is like 600k turn 1, and it's like, oh, turn 1 he's just better defensively than like most characters already on that specific turn reduction. It's crazy. Then I just want to let her know, I'm sorry, I'm so excited about this character. I'm just like,
yeah, me too.
You transform him, he gets a huge boost in defense, he gets the guaranteed additional super, and then they added defense to a super attack effect. So what happens with this guy is you transform him near the end of the fight, and then it's like he's still technically stacking for 2 more turns because he still has the 50% attack and defense raise, right? For the 3 turns. And before he didn't even raise defense at all, which is really interesting. And he, from what I've seen, he could do some pretty solid damage. I've seen some screenshots of people like doing the private server stuff, which I'm sure, right? You know, but I've seen about like 17 mil attack stats or so, and he does 2 of those. He just looks really crazy. And I'm so excited to use him. But again, he comes out in 4.5 days from now. And believe me, I will be doing so much with this tech along. But that's enough of me, you know, yapping. What do you guys think?
Yapping. Yeah, no, I'm very excited for him. I read his kit. I was like, yeah, he seems fantastic to me. I obviously, you know, like we were saying in the beginning, the boy is, you know, one of the Dokkan Battle characters of all time. Whether you love him or hate him, you know, he is him, as it were. So, you know, obviously it's a super exciting EZA, and just like we were talking about with Buu, it's also one of those things where it's like, man, this, you know, we were saying this with Buu, but I think this, you know, applies to Gohan a lot more so. It's one of those characters that in the game you're just so nostalgic for, right? And you just really like, you know, you just kind of got a soft spot for him in your heart because, you know, you've obviously used him for such a long time. And, you know, it's a character that obviously, you know, especially like we were saying with how, you know, much the community loves them. You know, it's a character that you really, really want to be good. So I think that it's good that they cooked with this guy. I know I've been seeing people kind of go back and forth a little bit, but it seems like even though some people have been saying he could have been better, it seems like most people agree that he is really, really good. I don't know. I read his kit, and I don't know. I know I'm not the best judge of what units do necessarily, right? Obviously, I understand how the game works, but you know, I was like, yeah, he seems really good to me. So I'm very excited to use him. I kind of wish he would have came out now, honestly, just because like I'm that excited to use him.
Yeah, it's funny them announcing him like so early, so now we all know. And
it's weird because Yeah, they put everything like in the Goku Day celebration, everything next week into this week's data download, and we don't know
Yeah,
why.
it was kind of interesting. I know. Funny enough, I saw a tweet from Truth talking about how like, it's interesting that they put all of the stuff in this one because that means that all of the like info basically for everything that we're getting.
Oh, you know what? It makes sense. Someone said in chat, right? I'm dumb. It is Golden
Huh?
Week,
It's the
right?
what?
It's Golden Week, so they probably have like days off for the holidays.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah,
But
fair
yeah,
enough.
and not to mention they do love to give those dudes the day off when it comes to when it comes to holidays for Japanese holidays, which is very good.
I mean,
But
yeah,
yeah.
it's just like Golden Week, but yeah.
Yeah, because that's a bunch of Japanese holidays back to back to back. But yeah, either way though, I think overall, right, like nothing really to say about the specifics. I'm just happy that they did very good with him. I expect a increase in memes once again of I've seen enough. He's the best unit in the game memes because you already know. I've already been making them myself. That there's certainly going to be lots of fun shenanigans. I'm sure that people will be doing with him and talking about. Since the boy is obviously returning to the spotlight. So it's very, very cool to see. And again, man, like I'm really hoping that, this year we get some more like Majin Buu stuff. Because not only with just this celebration giving so much love to Majin Buu Saga, but, all these great EZAs and, all these characters. I hope we really do get like a big Majin Buu Saga celebration this year because I think that would be really cool. So
I know.
only time will tell, though.
I'm seeing people cope for this guy. They're like, oh, he's not that great. People are overrating.
Huh?
Yeah. Oh no, TEQ Gohan. Oh no, people are crying.
There's
All right,
no way.
buddy.
Well, I think it's because it's like,
I
you
would say
know,
some people are annoying about him, but
yeah. Well, some people love him and some people hate him. You know, and you can tell the people who really hate him.
I mean, he's so relevant for years, and people were tired about hearing about him. Wait, I want to show you guys something. I want you guys to see this tweet real quick before we let Ningen talk about it. But look at the tweet I put in our chat, Dokkan Assets.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So what was so funny about that, by the way? I saw that tweet drop live. Like when you dropped the translations, I saw that tweet go up and that guy was like, concept or real? And I was like, bro, that's crazy. Like to think that a unit could be that strong that somebody would be like, yeah, this is just like a broken concept that somebody came up with. I don't know. I was like, that's kind of wild to me. And that reply is so funny too. That someone's like, wait, huh?
Oh God, because I got a reply to my TEQ Gohan translations when I dropped them, right? And then someone was like, real concept, and then like six people replied to him, was like, it's real. And then he responded again, he was like, oh God. That's so
I mean,
funny.
I get it, right? Especially too when it's like, since he is like the character that he is, obviously people have made like a million concepts of what his EZA will be like. So it's kind of unsurprising, honestly, that, like people are like, yeah, I don't even believe it anymore because they've seen it so many times. And it's like, bro, I don't even know, should I believe that this is real or not?
Real anymore, That's so funny. But I think we wrapped enough. I know Ningen has some stuff he wants to say about it.
Yes, absolutely.
Go on, Ningen.
Let me just get this up here. Is this going to work? Yeah, there it is. Real or concept?
Oh yeah, I forgot. We now we gave a little upgrade to the
God.
podcast. We now have a page to
Real or concepts. Oh God. It's such a funny tweet.
That's the wrong one. There we go. But yeah, that was very interesting to see. I mean, yeah, Gohan is one of those units that has always been really good.
Oh, hi, Truth.
He is certainly a meme, if ever there was one. No, I've seen enough TEQ Ultimate Gohan is better that went on for I don't even know how long. But yeah, he's
Till
always been a good
now.
unit. Well, yeah, he's always been a good unit, and now he's going to be even better. I do like. I've seen some people say as a criticism, it's like, why does he only have the damage reduction for one turn? But I kind of like it because if they just gave him it permanently, then he would be insanely broken, which is fine.
I think even though permanently, you wouldn't transform with him.
Well, yeah. But then, like, I think it's good because one of his weaknesses was like turn one in the events that do hit really hard straight away. So, like, Fusions of Masu, Super Battle Road. Like, the thing is, with Global, we recently got the Savior's Extreme Super Battle Road, and I saw loads of people complaining about how difficult that stage is. And yeah, even in that stage, right, like pre-EZA Gohan, he's taking like 100k from normals on turn one. But now, with 30% damage reduction on the first turn, as well as like the EZA stats and everything else, you know, that EZA will be very, very good for a lot of people that are still trying to beat that stage.
And one thing we can consider is that he also lowers attack, which is not only good for like Super Battle stages like that, but Gogeta. Like, you can lower his attack in most of the phases, and that's going to be very useful. So that's a good thing about that. I think that we could also like bring up. I think this guy is going to be good in basically every form of content.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, based on his details, I think he's just like easily best TUR. Or not best TUR, best easy TUR. I don't think he's best TUR. I think I've seen a lot of people saying that. I would say Goku and Buu, like especially in or better. I could see an argument for this guy being better than Vegeta, but I have to use.
No, I think Vegeta is just Tech Gohan but better. Like, so I mean, I guess it depends. I guess it depends how they stack up with his EZA. Yeah, because I mean, he's got guard. He's getting the additional supers and raising his defense. And then obviously,
Gohan's doing the same thing.
We're talking
he
about
has the 18% reduction. I think is a difference, right?
Yeah, and he also has the obviously the turn. You know, Ultimate Gohan. We're talking about comparing him to Well, I say comparing him, but like saying that he's like the new Tech Gohan is what a lot of people were saying, right? Because post transformation, he obviously can have the big damage output as the Super Saiyan Vegeta. Has the active skill, which can hit incredibly hard.
I think I would still probably say Vegeta is probably better overall because he has a better Leer skill too.
Yeah, but true. Better links as well.
I think that Gohan is like 4 probably. I feel like Gohan could be better than Chopo, but we'll see. We'll see. This is just me, this highballing. I think he's in the tier with those best TURs right now.
Yeah,
which means a lot.
So yeah, definitely could be. Yeah. Yeah, man, it's crazy. I remember pulling him actually when he first came out. I think he came out on a day where I had to work, so I couldn't do a summon like stream or anything in the morning. And I came home from work in the evening. As soon as I got in, went live. I did all the stones that I had, and I was getting destroyed on the banner. And then it was one of those things where it was like literally the last 50 stones. I pulled him, but then I pulled like a second one in the same multi. So it was ended with quite a bang. And yeah, so I've been using him since he came out on Global, and yeah, very interesting that he's once again
I've been using him
back
since he came out on GP. Like, I literally look at the tweet I put there. It's my video talking about his details when they first came out. That was so fun, and he was just so good. He's just incredible. And then 200% leader skills came out, and he was on one of those for Goku Gohan. It's great, fantastic. I love TEQ Ultimate Gohan. I'm again, if you guys were around, you know I was one of the big TEQ Gohan Hybrid Saiyans people. Funny enough, there was a time when me and Alan Dokkan were joined forces, you know, and me and Alan Dokkan, we went crazy over TEQ Gohan defending. Then times changed, but we're back again. But, anyways, we'll talk more about TEQ Gohan when he's actually in game next week. That's gonna be really fun, and we're at that point again. He's gonna come out on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
So with the podcast on Friday, we'll have plenty of time and plenty of experience with this guy. So that's a good thing. Now, besides our TEQ Ultimate Gohan thoughts, there is a new LR only on JP right now. Will of course eventually come to global. It is new Dragon Ball Saga LR with a new Dragon Ball story coming. It is the LR One Piece, as a lot of the community has dubbed him, which is LR Goku, Kid Krillin, Kid Goku, Kid Krillin, and Bulma. And this LR, the card art like shows them in like a pirate outfit where they're like collecting treasure in the Dragon Balls. I think it's pretty cool. This card has new animations and they look pretty good. So I'm actually gonna throw it to Dokkan Assets real quick. Thoughts on the animations? What do you think about them? I think they look pretty nice for a free to play LR. I'll take it for sure.
So I was actually, when they came out, because I thankfully now that we have the Thieving 6 Dokkan Wiki, right? We can basically see the animations like essentially as soon as they drop. And so I was like, hold on a second, wait a minute. Oh, these are really good? Huh? So
they're really good.
Like obviously, right, they not only have a intro, they also have an active skill, and they have 2 super attacks. Obviously you have to like keep it to the standard of like the free to play unit, because of course it's not like on the same tier as a summonable unit, although I don't know, these guys low-key could have been on the lower end of like a summonable unit, to be honest. Like it's not the most crazy thing I've ever seen in the world, but I thought that they were super solid. And I actually already did a video about these guys. I think that they're fantastic. I think that their animations are a ton of fun. And I think one thing that really hits home for me is they are just like oozing with Dragon Ball like goodness, right? Like everything about them just screams OGDB, from like the art style to like the way that the characters are animated to obviously like the animations and stuff like that. I think that aspect of it is really cool. And I love the like concept of this card, I guess, because it's really cool. Like what they kind of do is they kind of take like sort of a couple of different scenes and then put them together, right? Because obviously like the intro is sort of just them talking, but then the active skills, of course, from when they fight General Blue, which all of them are there for. But then like when they fight the robot, right? I don't think Bulma was like present in the room for that. And I know that most of the fight was Goku too, but I thought that it was kind of cool that they like took that scene and sort of spun it on its head to basically like include all 3 of them. I thought that that was really neat, honestly. And I think it was a great way to be able to like include all 3 characters. And not to mention, right, they did a good job focusing on everybody. Like the 12 key was focused on Goku and Krillin only, but Krillin took a little bit more of the lead. The active skill is obviously more focused on Bulma, and then the 18 key was focused on all 3 of them, but mostly Goku. So I thought that that was cool that they kind of gave everybody a little bit of spotlight as well. And like the other thing, I talked about this in the video, like I don't know, maybe I am like reading into it too much, but genuinely, like it's so cool when you are somebody who's watched OG Dragon Ball and then watch C, because you understand why these characters care so much about each other, because of like all of the shenanigans and the journey they went through in Dragon Ball. And like you understand why they're friends, right? Because it's like, okay, yeah, clearly, Krillin, Goku, and Bulma all like each other. They're all homies. But like, it is a lot more telling, seeing them when they're young to them when they're old, why they all care about each other so much, because they're all childhood friends. And I think that this card really, like, for me, emphasizes that, like, the feeling of all 3 of these hooligans are, just a bunch of kids, a bunch of friends having a good time and going on some wacky adventures together. And I think that this card does a fantastic job of basically like tackling that from a visual standpoint. So yeah, and not to mention they're just fun, right? Like they're just really fun animations. I think that honestly is like, part of why they're so good. So yeah, I'm honestly a very big fan of these. I think they're really cool. And not to mention as well, funny enough, I thought that they were reused because I thought it was from a different unit, and I completely forgotten because I hadn't looked at the TUR of this guy, and I forgot to look at him in the video. But my video about him, I was talking about like, oh yeah, they did use the reuse the rock paper scissors animation, which is kind of like, whatever, but it's a free to play unit, so it's fine. And I completely forgot that was actually just from the TUR, so which is good because obviously
okay.
I like whenever they implement the like TUR's animations into the LR. I always think that that's cool, like kind of referencing them in some way. And they did a good job, like basically inserting them into the LR. So I thought that was cool that, even the, the rock, paper, scissors attack also got a little bit of love in there as well. And yeah, honestly, I think like the only thing about these guys, and this is like literally a non-complaint, but it would have been so cool if they would have had like an actual costume change into the pirate
That would have
outfit.
been cool.
Yeah, because that's the one thing I was going to say is what is the actual is it just the LR effect that like the art changes? Or,
yes,
right. Because this was the art that came up when I tried finding it earlier to actually put it on the podcast.
Yeah,
I couldn't find the pirate one, and I wasn't sure because I briefly read the translations for their kit on that day when the data download happened, and I didn't think they had a costume change or a transformation or anything.
Yeah, they don't. I don't know if you can pull up that Dokkan wiki on
They
the
don't have a
stream because you
costume
can see
change.
it, but let me find the actual just like PNG. So if you are curious as to what this is, I guess it's just because they couldn't I don't know if like maybe they were just thinking that they didn't want to like make a card of it, but they wanted to use the art from it in some fashion. Here's like the alt art of it. There it's just like a static PNG. Basically, yeah, it is literally just the animated card art essentially. And let me see if I can find it. Shonen Jump Dragon Ball Pirate cover. I don't even. Will this even come up on Google?
I always think that it's cool
I
when
don't
they
think it will.
find the like references.
Oh yeah,
To these
yeah,
like that.
I do too. Here it is. This is it's from Psycho Jump. It was a Psycho Jump cover that was like this older piece of Toriyama art that basically they're all in these pirate outfits. And they basically just like decided to use it as a reference for the card art. So I don't know. I think it's really cool, right? Like I'm glad that it's in the game in some fashion. I think the only thing that does kind of stink only a little bit is that like it would be cool if it was an actual like costume change, or if you know, they had a thing where like you could change the thumbnail of the character to be like the pirate art or something.
They are
But
okay. That'd be cool because I know they are talking about like changing it to giving you the ability to use like SSR versions of the art and stuff.
yeah,
But see that or not SSR, but like different like transformation versions. But I don't think they would be able to do that for this LR. Maybe
yeah, because of the way that it works with the card art
Yeah.
just being the animated version. It's not like a separate art.
Yeah, that does
So kind of unfortunate on that front, but it is what it is. I was like, that's still such a cool reference that they even bothered to throw it in there, and the art is really nice. So I'm glad that it's there. It's pretty cool. But yeah, it would have been, I don't even know, like obviously the pirate like like variations of the animations really wouldn't have even made sense, but I don't care. It would have been cool.
Yeah.
But regardless though, yeah, obviously still very cool that they're implemented. And not to mention, right, outside of the animations, it's nice that this guy finally got an awakening. Dude, this like Kid Goku card has basically been sitting in like purgatory for such a long time now. Let me click that link I sent.
Yeah, people
in
speculated
the
when
group
he
chat.
came out, right? Like we were gonna get like a new Dragon Ball Saga celebration was gonna start, or it was gonna awaken into like the LR, like Roshi, Krillin, and Goku, like all that kind of stuff. I remember all the speculation like when he first came out.
According to the Dokkan Wiki, the SSR came out May 22nd, 2023, and the TOR came out October 5th, 2023. And then obviously he is releasing on the 8th. Yeah. So that is like almost a year later after obviously the SSR's initial release.
That's crazy.
The character
what they're gonna do is they're gonna go ahead and EZA him during Tanabata for Goku versus Demon King Piccolo. Stay tuned.
Honestly, I'd be all right with that. That'd be sick. I mean, I did. I don't know, Minato. Obviously, this can lead into you talking about the kit. I did hear that this guy unfortunately wasn't that good, though, in
Oh
terms
no.
of how he
Yeah,
is.
they're okay. I don't think they're anything crazy. And I think the biggest thing is not because of the numbers and the crit necessarily, but I think it's more so because of like the team, like the team they want to be used on isn't necessarily the greatest. Obviously, Dragon Ball Saga is not really the greatest. They could be using Earthbound Fighters, but like you have to run like 23 World Tournament Goku right now, which I feel like he's like wishy-washy right now. So that's the only thing. He does give support to Dragon Ball Saga. This LR does give support, and they do want Dragon Ball Saga allies in the team because they get a key 70% attacking defense and 7% crit chance per Dragon Ball Saga ally in the team. So even though they could be around in Earthbird Fighters with the Dragon Ball Saga, like major baseline, if you're running like double 23 World Tournament Goku, you're missing stats and key, right? So like from two of the characters that you could use. So that's why I'm thinking again, it'd be really nice for this guy. I feel like again, Dokkan Fest LR, like Kid Goku, right? Like a DFLR Kid Goku. We get like a TN bounding unit, like and then we get I don't know Demon King Piccolo, right? Then that's like a Dragon Ball Saga gets a good baseline. Like what if they say screw it and Super Easy the old Kid Goku or something, right?
Yeah, that'd be
Or
awesome.
something like that, right? I think they could do a lot of things and make Dragon Ball Saga a really good category. I mean, I doubt they would do it, but it'd be insane if the EZA, the physical Dokkan Fest Kid Goku. I don't. There's no way.
Yeah, that'd be
But like
crazy though.
maybe they can give like some special equips to him and make him interesting. Or like that Kid Goku, if they like make the new one give like damage reduction, or maybe the new one could be like Great Ape Kid Goku as well, and then he has like a Great Ape form, and he could like protect you from super attacks and make the rest of the team like workable. And it's like because the rest of the team is like the issue is like obviously they can't eat supers, but like if you have a giant form, then you could eat super, right? So I don't know. There's ways they could do it, but the Dragon Ball Saga team has to be good for them to be really good. That's where their
Yeah.
own is. So
Yeah.
until then, they're not really going to be anything special, and I don't think it's going to be a card you're going to be taking into high-end difficult content without that Dragon Ball Saga team. So we just have to wait and see. No, the active skill is interesting though, because on the active skill turn, I believe they can get. I don't know. I think because it's funny they have a medium chance dodge, right? If you have an Earthbird Fighter ally in the same rotation, the active skill gives them another 30% chance dodge. But since it's on the active skill, I think that's still separate. So that's just two separate 30% chances. Which is funny to me. So again, like with an EZA, give them like a high chance dodge, like just like bump their stats up. But I don't know if like they're gonna EZA anytime soon because it feels like the numbers in their kit feel very like what in the numbers in the kit when it feels very thematic, like with the 17
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
2% like in their intro, 17%, like it feels very thematic to like the 7 Dragon Ball, 77%, everything like that. The 30% buff being for the 3 characters, right? So I don't know if they're going to change that like
Gotcha.
anytime soon and easy this character anytime soon, but we have to wait and see what's going to happen. Once that character gets a team, though, I think they'll be a decent little free to play character. But right now, I don't like outside of a showcase. I'm not really gonna use ever.
Yeah.
Team that great.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny, right? Like I feel like even though I know the thematics are there, I don't know, it always kind of feels like when it comes to these free to play characters nowadays, they always hold back on what they do into anticipation of the EZA. A little bit, right? Where like they could always be better. And it's so frustrating because it literally defeats the purpose of an EZA because the whole point of an EZA is that they're supposed to be good again, right? After they were already good, right?
Yeah.
When they came out. And obviously, right, if a character is just bad on release because they're getting an EZA, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of, hey, now they can be good again later. So I don't know. That was something that always frustrates me about the way that they handle free-to-play characters, especially, is that it kind of feels like to me every single time that it's like they're, I don't want to say like taking advantage of the EZA format, because that sounds a little bit like, I don't know, maybe a little bit too overzealous or too scummy or something. But it always kind of feels like they're like, oh, well, you know, we're going to use the AI later, so what does it matter? We'll just make them stinky. And it's like, bro, come on. I don't know. It's just frustrating every single time, because obviously you want the character to be good on release, right? And it's like, it's unfortunate with, especially with a lot of these free-to-play characters, I feel like they're either like hit or miss, where it's like, yeah, I'm going to use this guy in a bunch of content, or it's like, yeah, I'm going to farm them up and then basically never ever touch them, which is like, at that point, what's even the point, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
either way, though, I do hope that when they hopefully EZA, that you know, they do actually make these guys pretty good. If this does, you know, bode well for potential, you know, like Dragon Ball celebration this year, where we actually get something, you know, that's like more substantial for a big boy, you know, Dokkan Fest or LR or whatever, that would be really cool. That would definitely be more content for that. They certainly have more Dragon Ball content that they can do. I know that I feel like people are like, oh yeah, there's not that much left, but there's plenty, I promise you. So, but anyhow, yeah, I actually really like this unit. I'm not gonna lie. It would be really, really cool if you know, they got better over time. So only time will tell, though. Obviously, we will see. It'll be interesting to see too. Actually, with these guys now finally having their LR, if they plan on basically like giving us some kind of other free-to-play unit that will now linger in you know, unawakened purgatory for a little bit. You know,
I mean, eventually we're gonna get more, yeah.
Right, you know, if they
Well, we
give
know
us
we're
some
getting.
other,
Was it the new?
you know,
There's going to be a new quest mode like SSR soon, isn't there, or something for?
yeah, they did
Yeah.
mention
Actually,
that.
That's supposed to come at the end of this month, is
Ooh.
it not?
I think so. Well, I feel like that's a little bit different though, because
Yeah,
well, I
it's,
mean, okay. To be fair, we're basically judging that off of Broly and Trunks, right? Because Broly and Trunks, I would say, even though obviously, you know, it wasn't like right away that all of their awakenings happened, I think that the time
It was
between
1 month at a
awakenings,
time.
yeah, it was fine.
It was.
I
Yeah,
thought
it
that
was.
that was like,
The gap was 2 months on JP and then 1 month on Global, which is why
yeah, I
like
thought that was fun.
a lot of
I
people
think
thought
like,
they were going to EZA for Saiyan Day because they made Global catch up to them being an LR so quickly.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so no, from what I see, it's gonna be in June
Okay.
for GP. So the
Interesting.
next celebration, whatever the next celebration GP is gonna be, which if it's Rose, that'd be funny.
That would be funny. I mean, hey, JP needs to get Rose at some point, so you know.
I mean, I think it might be. I think Rose is probably next, but Rose could be in
I would
August.
think so.
So
I think we
Yeah.
might have talked about
We'll
this
see.
last week, but I think Rose will be next for JP so that 21 can return for JP.
Yeah, we
because
did talk
Yeah,
about
It's very
that.
weird that
I
she
did see
only
that.
returned for Global, yeah. So
Well, I mean,
I-
yeah, I think it makes sense because again, 21 came out earlier than some of those other characters, right? Like in JP got like Gohan and Piccolo, and the androids before 21 was Global got
yeah,
them
true.
after, so it's like a different order. So that's why I thought 21 was going to be on the banner, and I was right. Haha. But when it comes to that, I feel like, how do I explain it? I think Rose being next, Rose's banner might change on GP. It'd be really weird if Rose gets a banner unit on GP. Like that's the only thing. And
yeah,
it's
I
like,
don't think it will. But
if you
I
think
don't
about
think
it,
you would.
because no, if I think he might. It's possible. If you think about it as well, the banner for Rose, if it was in August and it's the same banner, then let's like those worldwide celebration characters are on the banner, then they're just going to return in 2 weeks for the worldwide celebration, right, or in the month.
yeah.
That's why I think it could be in June, and maybe the banner won't change. But we'll see. 21 could return in August, right, for GP, and it'd be like a 9-month return, but it'd be like that. We'll see what happens. Again, they'll probably change up the Rose banner GP, which could arguably potentially be a buff. I think Rose and Global had 3+1, did it not?
I
Did it?
don't remember.
I don't remember. I know they had the tickets. Was it
Yeah.
3+1? And
We had those,
I would
those
not be
super
surprised
tickets
if
that
he
everybody got
wasn't.
for free, which was kind of crazy.
yeah, let me see. I don't know if Rose had 3+1.
I will not be surprised if he gets like nothing on JP
Rose
in terms of
did
discounts or anything.
not have 3+1. No, Rose did have 3+1 on global.
Yeah.
So what I think is
okay.
going to happen is I think JP's banner is going to be 7 featured, but not have the 3+1 or the tickets.
Mm.
So like
Yeah, those tickets were crazy, man. Everyone got 10 tickets for free. It's only 10. You get 10 units, but hey, I pulled Rose off of those free tickets, so I'll take it.
I mean, it's pretty good, man. So yeah, I mean, I can't wait to use Rose against Esther Gogeta Blue. Fun, but maybe Rose will be top 10 T-War still. We'll see. Anyways, continuing on,
Yeah.
from there.
I mean, he is currently on global, but yeah, it's I honestly can't wait to see whether he is for. I can't wait to try him out in the anniversary content, but
I mean, I think for the first week or two, he'll be good in anniversary content. I mean, Beerus is probably gonna like. Beerus, like Roto Beerus, is probably gonna like screw this guy. It's gonna be funny, but because the STR phase and he changes orbs, Red Zone Beerus is gonna be nasty.
Yeah, changing orbs will be awkward because yeah, I mean that goes for anyone that needs orbs. It's funny because obviously we're talking about like the EZAs earlier, right, with Buu and comparing him to like Kefla and stuff, but like Kefla really gets screwed over against Super Buu with the orb changing, and the fact that because he's AGL, like she needs to dodge his AOE or she just dies, and then yeah, he like ruins the orb field for you. It's yeah, she definitely is not good against Super Buu.
Yeah, right. So that makes sense. That's why I think some people are like, "Oh, I like Oating's better." I'm like, "Sure, you know."
Yeah, characters that need a certain type of orb, I definitely have troubles with those. Those stages where they're changing the orbs into candy and stuff is super annoying. Especially because the game, I only noticed it firsthand by playing it the other day. But we've talked about in the past how Dokkan is weird sometimes with how characters pick up orbs, because the game prioritizes ki over like their special abilities. So it's like something I complained about in the past with like TEQ Ultimate, where like there could be 2 rainbow orbs and 4 type orbs, but the game will go a different route because there's some tech orbs there and it gives him more ki. So it means it ignores his passive. And for some reason, even though the candy spheres don't give you ki, the game acts as if they do. So if you get like, if there's like a rainbow orb and then like, you know, 5 candy spheres, the game counts that as being 6. So it will get those instead of the actual ki, and then you can't super. It's super annoying. So those, there are some combos of characters and some units, especially if you are having characters together on the rotation that actually do need to get a decent little chunk of ki. Like they can get completely screwed over by those candy orbs, which is super annoying.
Really, really interesting for sure.
That is interesting.
In a bad way, but you know.
But then it's funny, of course, the fact that Buu comes along and then he's just like, "Yeah, I'll have those and heal and get extra stuff." Yeah,
yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so that's interesting, but you know, most characters like, and besides Buu, can't really take advantage of that.
yeah.
That are top tier anyways.
One thing that is useful is the characters when you do have those rotations where you've got like your best link partner and they don't need any ki. Like if they're a TUR and they just have 12 ki, then it's like, well, I can clear out all of these like candy orbs with you because you don't need ki anyway. But yeah, that can be kind of frustrating. It'll be interesting to see if the later stages, as the bosses get more difficult as well, also have that effect if they're like the different forms of Buu, because that could certainly make some of those later stages a lot more difficult.
Possible.
But yeah, that's in terms of just a very brief thing here before we get towards the last couple of bits to talk about. Who do you guys think will be the last few stages of the Majin Buu Saga Red Zone? Do you think we're going to consistently get, like, for example, do you think they're all going to be extreme? Are they all going to be Boos? Because like I would kind of like to see Majin Vegeta as one of them for sure. I think that'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
I don't know if Majin Vegeta will get a stage because they do this in chronological order, right? I guess the next stage could be Majin Vegeta because, well, no, Majin Vegeta happened after Skinny Buu and Super Buu, or before. Sorry.
Yeah, before Evil Buu. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Majin Vegeta would be any stages in there, unfortunately. So we had Babidi's minions. We had Super Buu. Is the stage called Super Buu or Evil Buu?
I think it's Super Buu, right?
I think it's Super Buu. Yeah.
Let me double check here because it might just be Evil Buu. But let me see. Like Buu pure evil.
Yeah, because we'd assume that Kid Buu will be the last one, but then it could be.
Yeah, that would make.
But then
sense.
it could be.
It could be Oob.
It could be Spirit Bomb, Goku.
It
and
could
Vegeta,
be
right?
LR Kid Buu, baby.
No,
That's the
no.
last stage.
It's not going to be any super class, or it's not going to be any of the like good guys, or like the people on the Z Fighter side, right? Red zones
Essentially.
are not for that. That's what these Spring Battle spectacles are.
Well,
Where is it?
the anomaly
Red
for that is
Zone.
obviously the Gammas because they're super class.
Well, the
but-
Gammas are the antagonists. They're super class, just like how Oob could be a stage. I think the Gammas
yeah.
could be a stage, or because they're the people that the Z Fighters fight against, right?
Yeah,
That's the main difference. Like again,
that is true.
Ultimate
Yeah.
Red Zone Buu Saga. Yeah, it is called Buu Super. So I think the next stage could be like, it could be Buu Go Tanks. We could fight Buu Go Tanks, Buu Piccolo, and two Buuhan.
Yep.
Stage 4 could be Kid Buu, and then stage 5 could be Oob.
That could be interesting.
I think because like,
Although
it's like, okay,
it would be weird to
unless-
have Oob when the actual event is called like Majin Buu Saga Red Zone, and obviously Oob is
Well,
not
yeah.
in the Buu Saga, so it's
yeah, Oob's in the Buu Saga. What are you talking about? He fights
Yeah.
Goku at the 28th World Tournament.
well, that's not
Yeah.
really the Buu Saga, is it? That's the like
That is.
end of Z,
It's
like
technically it
Is
is.
it?
Part of the Buu Saga. Those cards
That's
are in the Majin
technically
Buu
part of
Saga.
the
Wait,
Buu
are
Saga,
they?
Yeah.
oh
That's
damn.
Oob
Yeah.
awakened in the Majin Buu Saga Extreme Z area.
damn.
He was part of the in the 8th anniversary. We had him in that event for the Buu Saga. Oob is part of the Buu Saga, right?
Damn, that's
Um,
crazy. I didn't realize the game.
yeah.
I wasn't sure whether the game classified it or not, but just like in my mind, it's not the Buu Saga. But yeah, I guess that makes sense.
They could also do Buu Go Tanks as his own stage, and Buuhan as his own stage, and Kid Buu as his own stage. But
That's
I feel
so
like
weird. Dokkan,
maybe-
we know that Dokkan is screwy with categories, but since that's I'm just mind blown over here. So we got what is technically OG Dragon Ball, 23rd World Tournament Saga. That doesn't count as Dragon Ball Saga. But Oob, who comes after Majin Buu, has already been defeated and 5 years has passed,
Vicious.
counts as Majin Buu Saga in Dokkan. Like, what?
That's the English translation.
What?
Sometimes the English translation is very weird because, like, I know in Japanese it's called Boyhood.
Oh, yes, it's
not
only
Saga.
when it's Kid Goku. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true.
I know in Spanish it's also called Boyhood Saga, but in
okay.
English they call it GB Saga because Global's weird. Global has weird translations for like. Because so a little context in case a lot of y'all don't know, right? Like let's say the year 7, the year 5 anniversary LRs, when they're in slot 2 or 3 or slot 1, whatever slot is, their description in Japanese is as the first or second attacker, as the third attacker. But then since Agil Jacko, they've been giving a lot of characters the wording in the first slot rather than as the first or second attacker in the third slot, right? So Global never made that distinction for that change. So Global's always still just as the first attacker, as the second attacker, even though it will work differently. That's why Super Saiyan 3 Goku, you can't use his active skill in slot 2, then put him in slot 1 and get his full passive, because that's in the first slot, in the second slot. But the Blue Fusions, they have as the third attacker. So you attack in the third slot with the active skill, then you put them in slot 1 and 2, and then they get their full passive.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Weird.
And Global doesn't. Global's weird with their English translation sometimes. I'm telling you, like, and then it just causes confusion. That's why people were like, "Why can't I use the active skill in slot 2 with Goku and put him in slot 1?" So I don't know. It's very interesting. Language, blah blah blah. Yeah, every other English, like every other translation is correct. The English translation is weird. I think that we should like throw them over into the sea. I don't know. Anyway.
Throw them into the sea.
What I'm gonna say is I think that again, I could see stage 3 being like the Super Buu forms.
Yeah.
Stage 4 being Kid Buu and stage 5 being Oob.
That could be interesting, yeah.
I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna be LR Kid Buu for the last stage.
I mean,
Hell
imagine
yeah.
like Oob like as like top 3 hardest fights in the game, just like Kid
that
Buu.
would be crazy.
That'd be funny.
That
But
would
I feel
be.
like maybe they would make Kid Buu like stage 4 the hardest stage, because we know Beerus has a harder stage in my opinion than Golden Frieza. Gogeta,
Okay.
in my opinion, is harder stage than Beast Gohan. So like the second to last stage could be harder than the last stage, right?
Yeah.
So I could see Kid Buu still being like, hardest fight in the game, Kid Buu.
Hmm.
But
That
we'll
would
see
be
what they
cool.
do. It'll be really interesting to see. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they want to handle those. Again, I could see Uber as a stage though. I wouldn't put it
Dude, that
past.
would actually just be so funny if Oob was the hardest boss in the game.
Let
That would be
Uber's the hardest boss
hilarious.
in the game.
Yeah, that'd be so
That'd
funny.
be kind of funny because like I don't know what else they would do
Mm.
unless they separate Buu Gotenks and then Buhan and make Buhan his own individual stage,
Mm.
which is definitely very possible. But I don't know. Um,
Yeah, I'd rather they have all the super, like the three together, right? Because it makes it more
yeah,
interesting as well. Because the second stage is already just like two phases of like two of the different boos. So we don't want
yeah,
to, because that was one of people's biggest complaints about Dismal Future Red Zone, outside of all the complaining about like AoE Zamasu, is the fact that like three of the five stages are just exactly the same, where it's just like two
yeah.
phases
It's like
against one
even
enemy.
even if the last two fights are like just against Kid Buu and just against Oob, then it's like at least stage 3 is 3 phases, stage 2 is 2 phases, stage 1 is like 4 phases, right? It's like
Mhm.
there's different phases with each of these fights that spread out rather than all of like it'd be two, 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 and then one, you know.
Mm.
That'd be annoying. So I think yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's what I would want to see. And I'd be down with an Oob stage. My opinion, but yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
I could see Kid Buu be a character where he has like a final phase where you have to do like a nuke attack. Imagine like he takes 0
Mm.
damage unless you one shot him. Just like the
Mhm.
Oh,
remember
that'd be
the
cool.
during the 8th anniversary we had those stages, right? The Sin Shenron and the Kid Buu stage. Where you
Oh
had to
yeah,
like
with the
nuke them.
because they were designed for you
Yeah,
to like do the spirit bomb, basically, weren't
Yeah,
they? Yeah.
those are really
exactly like
fun,
that
honestly.
with a red zone. So it's like
Mm.
let's say you have 2 phases of Kid Buu, and then at the end,
Mhm.
have to nuke him or else he one shots you. I think that could be interesting, like he blows up the planet or something.
Yeah, like he could do like maybe he does only normals, but they do a decent amount of damage. And then yeah, if you don't like one shot him in like 3 turns, then he just does a countdown super and kills you. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
And then like the Dragon Ball Z
That'd be
duo
really
could be like
cool.
a really good character in that phase, in
Mm.
that fight, you know. I think that could be interesting. Um or like, you know, I don't know, someone with a big nuke
Yeah.
ability could be cool. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts. I got way too into that, but yeah.
Mhm.
I
I
mean,
like
hey
it.
man, I agree with you. I think that it could be cool. I mean, that honestly though, I like obviously I'm like half joking, but I genuinely do think it would be so cool if like LR Kibu came out and then he was just him, and ended up
Mm.
being like the best fight in the game after all of the shenanigans that our boy has been through,
Yep. It'd be so good.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, did you want to talk about those EZAs? I can get the tweet up.
Yeah,
The
so
thing.
I did bring this up on the side. Proton made this tweet, I think yesterday. So what happened is in the data, there's a couple of EZA like IDs that are like missing in between all these EZAs we've been getting recently. There are also like a skipped ID in like Extreme Z battles, right? So it's really interesting. Right now there's 5 like empty slots for like EZA IDs. They're gonna be TURs, by the way. They're like EZA TUR slots, right? Because the EZA LR slots are missing. So there could potentially still be 5 EZA TURs coming for the celebration. That we could see. That doesn't also include super EZAs, just EZA TURs, right? If you scroll down to the next tweet, you'll see what I'm talking about with the missing IDs. Um, it's quoted, right? So there's the possibility for EZAs that we could see. Obviously, they would be Majin Buu Saga. Now I know the ones that people are mostly thinking about is the Super Saiyan 2 Goku and the Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta.
Yeah.
Those characters having on EZAs. I think we could see like a sub EZAs for like, okay, so how many spots are there again? There's 5, right? One, two,
Yep.
3, 4, 5. So like maybe we can get like it could be a thing where we get 4 EZAs. We get the Super Saiyan Saiyaman, the Goku, the Vegeta, and then the Dabura. They 4 EZA,
Mm.
and then they throw in like a 5th EZA, like let's say I don't know, like another banner unit, like Buu Piccolo. They just throw in Buu Piccolo there or something, right? That could be cool. And then we get like an Extreme Z battle for like, what if we get like distant rivals, and then we get the Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. then they give us a Majin Buu Saga Extreme Z battle, and then we get like Super Saiyan Saiyaman, Dabura, Buu Piccolo, and then they could also just throw in Tien in there, and we get those two. I think that could be pretty cool to see, but I'm sure there's other EZAs that like we haven't talked about. Like, what do you guys think we could see?
I mean, for me personally, I keep talking about it. I speculate. I talked about it when we talked about Saiyan Day. I really want to see that Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta EZA. I've loved those units since they came out. I really want them to get EZAs, and hopefully, like with the EZAs, especially with the, as long as we don't trip over. The EZAs have been so good for this celebration. If those guys got their EZA now and were riding that wave and being as good as like Gotenks, Exchange Buu, Gohan, like those two getting an EZA now would be awesome.
I did realize in those 5 missing IDs, transformations count as an ID. So if we get Goku and Vegeta, that'd be 4 slots.
Okay.
So like maybe it'd be 4 slots and then 1 extra character, I guess. Okay, that's interesting. Like seeing, because we see like Gotenks, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks take 3 slots, right? I think again we could see like these are going to be likely Majin Buu Saga EZAs. Like there's so many Majin Buu Saga EZAs around here. I think we could see something like that, right? As long as it's Majin Buu Saga, Proton says in chat, yeah. So it could be like those 4. So like the Super Saiyan Goku Vegeta and then the transformations. That we can get like a banner unit in there, maybe like a banner unit EZA we hadn't seen.
Well, there's some. I mean, like, it would mean we don't get the Goku Vegeta, right? Because, like you say, they take up more slots. But I could see them doing like a Majin Buu Saga Extreme Z Battle, like the 30-stage thing, and then we get like the there's the Saiyaman and Dabura, there's the Tien, there's that physical Buu Tanks, and then like Buu Piccolo, like all 5 of those.
There's like 1 slot left.
Well, that's 5, right?
EZA. No, that's 4.
Super Saiyaman, Saiyaman, Dabura, Tien, Buu Piccolo, physical Buu Tanks.
Oh, physical Buu Tanks. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that guy. 5. That random TUR that's been there for ages.
Or they could also do 2 Extreme Z battles, because I think there's 2 Extreme Z battle ID. TUR EZA plus, oh no, there's... Wait, Proton, can you confirm in chat, is it 1 Extreme Z battle ID missing or 2 Extreme Z battle IDs that are missing? Because I see with Exchange Buu, it's 142, and then with TEQ Gohan, it's 144. So it is 143 missing.
Oh, okay. He did say in chat as well, nothing is stopping them from using the slots after those. It's just that there are 5 gaps. So that doesn't mean there can only be 5.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Like, that's why I said it could be, we could get Destined Rivals. I think there's no way that they don't EZA the Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Vegeta, right? I just don't see them not.
Don't jinx it. I want it.
There's like no way. There's no way they're not going to. Or at least if they don't do it this month, they do it next month, right? Like I don't see them not doing it. Like it just makes no sense. Imagine it's like we get those 2 characters, like and then we get Vidal or something.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. It could be, what if it's those 2 characters and then we get Super Saiyan 2 Angel Vegeta?
Oh, yes.
And then it's like
that
that's
would
the
be cool.
Slot. It's like the 3 slots right there. It could be Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, Majin Vegeta, then it could be Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta Angel. Then the 2 slots on the bottom between Goku and TEQ Gohan, it could be Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 2 Goku Angel, Super Saiyan 3 Angel.
Dude, that would be so good. That LR Super Saiyan 2 Angel Vegeta I really love as well. And because he needs a Buu Saga Goku, which we now have a brand new one of, right? Like
I think that'd be so good
to
me. Yeah. And then like maybe another type we can get like some of these other EZAs throughout the year. Like if we get, like we could easily get another Majin Buu Saga celebration this year. Like we can get like a like I'm trying to think like a Dokkan Fest Hercule, and then STR Vidal EZAs, and we get all these sub EZAs, right?
Yeah. Dokkan Fest Hercule would be kind of fire. I mean, it's so funny, right? Like I swear I don't know. I guess the most probably predominant
Hercule unit LR, so you wouldn't be there with those characters.
Oh, right? True.
I forgot. I don't know.
I still want. I agree with Ningen that it would be Goku and Vegeta, and not just because I love those characters as well, but I mean, Goku is literally Wave Ku. That's where he
that's
comes
another
from.
thing.
So I need,
I mean, they
I
could
need
really
that boy
just
to get easier.
they could really
Sure.
just easy start Videl here too. Like they could just take her out there.
Mm.
Like if especially if we get like a LR Ultimate Gohan Part 2.
Well, yeah,
like,
because
easy
wasn't Videl always worked really well with TEQ Gohan, who's getting his EZA. So yeah, that would be cool.
They share Cold Judgment, for example. Right? Like, they get that E. I think it'd be kind of cool for Esther Vidal getting an EZA. But again, that's what I think. I think it'd be funny if those 3 slots up there were physical Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Super Saiyan 3, and then Esther Kid Buu. But there's no way.
Oh, dude.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I think it would be way too
That'd
early,
be
but
insane.
it would be
Way too early.
hype. That'd be.
It would
It's
be
like when they
so
I mean,
wild.
it wasn't like it's not like they were early, but like it's like when they surprise dropped like the now I say surprise, it was in the news on JP, but like when they surprise dropped like the EZA for the Super Saiyan 4s in that Golden Week when it was like the GT Super Saiyans, and then like it's like, oh my god, the Super Saiyan 4s, the first 120 lead like EZAs, and it was like super hype. Yeah, those guys getting their EZA would be crazy. Because it's funny, Kid Buu, I mean, he's obviously aged quite a bit now, but like in the Buu Saga Red Zone, you could use his active skill straight away, and he can actually still do kind of okay. Obviously, he's not going to be like eating supers or anything, but it's kind of funny to think that he still has a little bit of gas in the tank.
Esther Kid Buu could do a little bit of stuff in the ultimate in the Spring Battle Spectacle, the Artificial Life Forms mission against Beast Gohan.
Bro, my boy was cooking on the first stage of the red zone. I was like, you know what? We're gonna bring the boy through, because I pulled like 2 dupes of him. I think it was 2 dupes here. I either had him 69 or 55. I don't remember, but I pulled enough dupes of him to get him to 79% this celebration from what he was on Goku's banner. And dude, like I was like, hold on, my boy's cooking. What? Like I know that first stage is nothing too crazy, but I was just like, bro, hold on, my boy's kind of him. I'm not gonna lie. So I was really enjoying using Esther Kid Buu, to be honest. It also helped that too he stuns, and some of those bosses for that first stage can be stunned. So that was very nice as well. But yeah, I would love for him to honestly get an easy. And not to mention, I mean, of course, Ningen and us being in the Super Saiyan 3 squad, obviously another Super Saiyan 3 be getting an EZA would be hype.
Yep.
But yeah, that would be cool. I don't know. I feel like they've always kind of been like, I don't know if you guys feel the same, but I swear those 2 units have always kind of been in like a weird place where I feel like even when they came out, they weren't like crazy, but they were still good. I don't know. Maybe I just don't remember them that well, but I feel like even when they came out, I don't remember people like going nuts about their the power that they had.
I think they did. I remember when they came out. I know obviously Global is behind, but like I remember when they came out on Global, they were basically considered the first and second best like TURs in the game.
Okay.
I know a lot of people soured on Goku because of his like inconsistency, right? Like you can transform into Super Saiyan 3 and then get a super and just a bunch of additional normals, and then he's not very good against the tough bosses if that happens. But I remember I thought Kid Buu was super underrated. Like he was super good on release for sure, at least especially on Global. But again, he's another character that suffered from like who was his best link partner at the time, because many of the other Buu characters weren't super relevant like when he came out, which is a shame. But yeah, very interesting to see. I think it's a bit early for them, but just please give me the Goku and Vegeta EZAs already. We'll see.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, what year did they come out again? Was it 2021 or 2?
It might have been 2020.
For Goku and Vegeta?
What?
Really?
2019.
Oh, well, there you
go.
Yeah, Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta.
Yeah.
They come out December of 2019.
Holy moly.
Yeah, so it was 2020 for Global, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Global.
Well, I do, because I play Global.
Yeah, no one cares about Global. Anyways, talking about the real version.
That's crazy. It's so funny. Like, I know it's just obviously it's all in good fun, but it is so funny that I know obviously it's because we play JP, we clown on Global, but like it is very funny that like this is definitely a side tangent, so I promise I won't stay on it for too long. But it's so funny that like the way that the Dokkan like community ecosystem works is that like people like not that they don't care about the global content because obviously they care when it comes out to global, but people almost care more about like stuff when it happens on JP originally, kind of, and that's what people look to for the information. But more people actually play the global version of the game, you know. But we still clown on global all the time, even though it's the one that the most people in the English-speaking community play. I don't know. It's just such a funny dynamic, you know.
I'm gonna miss saying global moment.
I know, right? Plus, it's just that's
they'll still
it's going to
happen.
be so glorious
still
when the
gonna
sync finally happens and global is undisputedly, unarguably the best version. It's going to be
No,
glorious.
because global has weird translations, so I could always say global.
And
moment.
not to mention,
translating that.
as much as I hate to say it, being the funny animation man, the assets are, and I'm not even like exaggerating when I say this. Like I'm saying from a literal technical standpoint, the animations are actually worse quality on global. Like the assets,
yeah, that's a
Wait,
thing.
really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, the assets are literally lower
JPW.
quality.
I remember that.
Really?
Like Kid Go, like
Yes.
the backgrounds are so like much more like
crunchy,
crunchy and gross. And then the
I'll see if I can find a. Hold on, let me find the
JP
thread.
supremacy. I forgot our game just looks better.
Yeah,
We
no, that
are
legitimately,
better.
like, crazily enough, that is just true. Like, I know that like sounds like funny to say, because it sounds like, oh, you know, just clowning on global again, but like legitimately, that's the case.
Damn.
JP's also gonna get the news earlier too. What can I say?
Let's see. Okay,
It
I
is what
found
it is.
this one. I made like an actual explanation post about it. I gotta find like my my explanation post, but there you go. There's like a quick comparison, if anything, that's not like I'd have to find because I made a whole thread about it. I'd have to like, you know, dig through Twitter and
Background
find
is
it,
just so crunchy.
but... yeah.
Oh dear goodness! And Global's game is so much larger than JP's game because there's all the languages and extra.
Right, because there's a bunch of languages, and not to mention, you know, I hate to say it, bro, but like these, you know, I know people make fun of you know, modern game devs for like not optimizing their game, you know, like the new like COD or whatever is like, you know, like a terabyte of space or something like that. But man, Dokkan just does not care about optimization. Like, and it is also partially because that's how the game works, that they add in like the same assets a bunch of times over and over and over, right? Like, unfortunately, that's just kind of how the game functions from like the coding standpoint. But you know, like they literally add, you know, someone was saying the other day, it's like, bro, they add this Goku Day sticker in every single year. No wonder the game's so big. And I'm like, yep.
You know, in chat, Sokoto, I see you in chat. JP Dokkan lags if you're not in Japan. If you have a recent phone, I'd rather take like 5 seconds extra of loading to have better animations.
It lags, brother. Are you using a Galaxy S1? There's no way.
It's just there's like slightly longer loading time. There's no lag.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about all that, bro. That like
not that bad. You know,
that sounds like some Johns to me. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Look at that. Look, this is it's crazy. Like, what are those dots in the sky, bro? Crunch.
Yeah, nah, very disgusting, very disgusting. But I could I'll have to find the thread. I'll repost it because since we talked about it on the podcast, I'll find it later because I have to dig a little bit on Twitter. But yeah, no, it was a couple years ago, but I made like a thread about it.
Look at the colors,
the comparison of the assets.
Cell is like, look at his eye color. Like,
yeah, I noticed the eye is a lot more pink. Yeah,
it's very strange,
almost.
Yeah, it's a very interesting case. So you like, it's so funny because it's like from the perspective of like, I don't know, the gotcha aspect, you're getting a better experience on global, but from the perspective of like the gameplay experience, I mean, obviously, I guess this would be like technically assuming it's like you would be also reading Japanese because we're taking the translations into, you know, like the conversation here, right? Because obviously in Japanese it would just make sense, where on global it doesn't. On JP, you have a better gameplay experience, where on global, you know, you have a better gotcha game experience.
Look at Cell's ear. Why is Cell's ear not colored in global?
Yeah, That was a mistake as well. I think they
yeah.
fixed that later on. Funny enough, I
Yeah.
think these screenshots were taken from what was there initially, and then I think, funny enough, I vaguely remember there was an asset update for that.
Yeah, it's so weird. This is
Let's see.
global has like weird coloring. How do you even do
Mhm.
that? It's like the same thing.
Yeah, I honestly like I don't know. The
Like,
oh, I found the thread. Okay.
why why is the asset actually just so different?
Yeah, I legitimately like. I still don't really have
An
a
answer.
full answer for you, unfortunately. I wish I knew. I did make a thread about it, but anyway, yeah. Global and JP shenanigans aside,
We got off topic again.
yeah, we did a little bit. I literally said that we're not going to go on a tangent.
I
He goes
know.
on a tangent.
Global
But
does not have Dokkan Encyclopedia, and that's where we'll end it. JP the best. We have Dokkan Encyclopedia. Sorry to let you know.
bro, yeah, okay, that's grasping at straws.
Yeah, Dokkan Encyclopedia is awesome.
Yeah,
Anyways, especially for collectors, actually, you can see like who
that's
you have.
true. That's true. But anyway, yeah.
Continuing on.
I do hope though with the sync, the last thing I'll say on that is I do hope that they kind of like, I don't know, I guess change or like fix some of that stuff. I know it's probably a pipe dream.
Limestones.
Yeah, bro, and that too. Like that's another thing that JP just gets, but Global just literally just misses out on. That's just free stones.
Did I do my line stones today? I think I did mine yesterday already. But anyways, we'll move on because I think we have our. I think it's that time for the segment that everyone loves.
Yes, sir.
Let me check here. Can I do my line?
Time to get my line stones. That's the segment that we're on.
Yeah, line stone segment. All right, everyone, bring your phone up to the screen and get your free line stones, 7 stones or something like that. I don't know. I forgot how much it is. 5 stones for free a week. Pretty good. Sometimes 10 stones.
Or I was gonna say sometimes more.
Yeah. Remember, it used to be able to get 0.
I'm so glad they didn't do that. All right, here I'm pulling it up myself. Hold on, I'm looking at it in the camera. So it's heavily delayed. Wait, how many did I even get? I didn't even see. Oh, it hasn't even started playing yet. LOL.
Sorry, Ningen.
The JP players have taken over. 35. Woo!
You go 5 stones. Woo! That adds up every single week. Let's go. Make sure you do live stream. Anyways,
there you go.
Why did you let us do that?
No. It's fine. Ningen, I don't know why Global doesn't have the line stones.
Yeah, I know it's weird, but
it's really.
I mean, I think it's
literally
just
translated in beta. I don't know, but
it is. That's the funny part. They could just turn it on, and they just don't. But oh well.
Yep. Anyways, continuing on, we do have our favorite segment.
Trash take. Let's
Woo!
go.
So I did pick this trash take. Funny enough, even though we've been clowning Global, like I said, good segue is that there are some global wins still. There is some global wins. Global does have tickets, and this take is related to those global exclusive tickets. Now, whenever it's on the screen, I'll read it. Ningen, so whenever you're ready, I'll let you.
I'll wait for YouTube to decide to load. There we go.
So this one right here is from
GC. Finally, a take that's not from the person. We say that all the time. No, I think this may be the first one in all 36 episodes where it's a take that's not from the person.
They do agree with this take. They did say as well. So what happened here is ACGC said Halvard said this the other day. If you don't know who Halvard is, Halvard does some calculations on Dokkan Twitter. Dokkan Twitter. But anyways, said the other day, global tickets on every banner, not summon tickets you get for summoning, just the global tickets that you purchase in the Pilaf stroke, are not that great of a bargain. You're still buying summons. While you could get lucky, you could also get shafted. And you lose out on selling any dupes you get 4 coins. Now, in a follow-up response,
interesting.
You can protect your stone count if you just use the tickets to get lucky. But if you don't, then you essentially spent $100 plus for essentially nothing, which you could have bought stones with and at least get coins out of it as well.
Okay.
So,
I need to ask a question before this continues, just so I know, because obviously since I don't buy tickets on Global, I need to know this information to be able to understand. Ningen, local global player.
Yo.
In terms of monetary value, is it cheaper to buy the tickets, or is it cheaper to buy the equivalent amount of dragon stones that the tickets would give you per summon?
It is cheaper to buy tickets.
Okay, then this is an I'll take.
Yeah,
that
is my thoughts.
The idea behind it is that
Okay.
if you get the tickets and you get shafted, then you don't get anything from it. But if you get you guys battle points, if you get the stones and you get shafted, you are still building up your coins for the reward system, so that you have more red coins available. So like if you get 2 multis worth of tickets compared to, let's say, 1 multi worth amount in stones, you still at least get 13 red coins from whatever banner you're summoning on. Or if you're summoning on a banner with the yellow coin pity, you're still getting 13 limited coins. Whilst with tickets, if you get nothing, you get nothing, even though there's more summon value with those tickets. Let
me lay something fresh on you, because this take, I think, is definitely not thinking about IRL shenanigans coming into play. You know what you're not losing out on, right? Because obviously the take is that you're losing out on your coins. You're not losing out on as much money out of your wallet. Real life dollars are being saved. If you value your red coins more than you value the real money in your pocket, then sure, this is a W take. But you're saving actual money in exchange for not getting red coins. So
I personally think
this is an L.
I'll take as well, but I see the idea, because if you're someone that buys all the sales anyways, then it's like.
Did you see there was a secondary? There's like he replied to the original tweet as well. I don't know if you read that one.
Yeah, I did read that out.
Yeah, he read that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think that I feel like the thing is, getting more shots of getting the unit is going to be the biggest thing at the end of the day. Even if you could pull out with more coins, being able to potentially save your actual dragon stones for other banners is huge, especially when it's, again, quote unquote filler banners that don't have, like, you don't necessarily want to use your dragon stones on. And it depends on how much money you're willing to spend, but like theoretically, like the less money you spend, the better, right? In my opinion. So I don't know. I think there's an L take, but I could see like the point about the coins a little bit, where it's like, well, if I just get dragon stones, then at least I can get something from getting shafted. But then you're also giving yourself less chances to get what you want, because the tickets will give you more value.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like I guess, like, if you want to be sure, like, oh, I'm guaranteed I'm at least getting coins or building pity, or I'm at least getting coins and building my reward system, compared to I bought all these tickets and I got nothing. Well, I could have gotten red coins, is the idea behind it, I think. And when you put it that way, I don't think it's like as dumb. But again, when you also consider that you just spend way less money, that's another thing.
Yeah.
And if you do get the character, then you spend less money and you get your coins. So I guess you could argue in that sense the tickets are technically riskier in terms of the actual summoning process, because of the fact that you don't at least get anything guaranteed from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. That's it, really.
Yeah, I mean, so I talk about this all the time, right? I talk about tickets whenever I make my summon or skip videos. Shout out to AC. He's a long time Twitter homie and friend of the channel, but unfortunately this is an L take. The point about the coins is, I guess, correct, because you are not getting coins. But the thing is, I guess you also have to think about the perspective of like the level of player that you are, because if you're not someone who summons a lot, like not particularly whaley, maybe you haven't been playing the game for like 6 years like we have, what if your guaranteed SSR is like that STR Gohan who's the side banner unit from Tech Trunks, and he sucks, but he's only been out for like 6 months or less, so he probably isn't the last copy, so you're not even getting coins from that copy of him. So you are actually still getting nothing from your 50 stone multi. You're only getting the coins if it's a unit that you already have rainbowed, right? Yeah. And one thing that they've started doing recently, which is quite cool, we had this on Global with that yellow coin banner that just came out. It was the filler banner that had the the Triku and some other characters featured. And I think they did it for they might have done it for the Ribrienne one as well. I can't remember. But when you bought the ticket pack and did the ticket summon, it actually gave you a bunch of the pity coins as well. So you could then, obviously, you weren't missing out on getting those coins by doing the summon with the tickets, which I think is really good.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, like I say, the thing about coins is true, but like what Theo said, I think hits the nail on the head, right? Is who cares about red coins when you're saving actual money?
Right.
Like the number of times I've pulled a unit with the tickets, and so I just then don't summon with stones on the banner, but I still buy some of the sale packs, and then I get to keep all of those stones. So it's like, this is the specific thing I say in those summon or skip videos, is that if you're going to summon on that banner, then the tickets are objectively better than buying stones, because you get more units for less money. But if you're, if a celebration starts and you want to buy some sale packs, but you don't necessarily want to summon on the particular banner, then obviously you wouldn't buy the tickets, you just buy stones. But especially for global, with all of this random stuff that's been coming out from the start of the year, everybody has obviously been very focused on saving for the anniversary. So if you buy the tickets and you pull the units off the ticket, you don't have to spend any of your stones that you're now still saving for the anniversary. Plus, somebody did mention in the chat as well, the ticket packs always come with other stuff like orbs, meat items, which are super useful. Just a whole bunch of like random stuff.
Box space.
Yeah, I think in the past some of them have actually come with box space as well. So like you get
wild.
Yeah, so I think the tickets are just objectively a W. If you spend money on the game and you're going to summon on a banner, you buy the tickets before you buy stones.
One thing
it's like
is they're thinking about get something at least guaranteed with the coins, but if you're getting box space, if you're getting kais, if you're getting orbs, if you're getting, sometimes they come with equipment, like sometimes the equipment sucks.
Yeah, they're usually like level 4 gold, so then you're not really using them because you want level 5s, but
I mean, there is still like sub EZAs or something like that. You can summon those characters, right?
Yep.
So like, it's still something that you're getting that is useful. And sure, technically the red coins are more valuable, but in terms of the overall value of everything you're getting, plus the cheaper real life money that you're spending, the tickets will be worth, and you get the potential ability to just save the dragon stones you have, right? And especially if you're only someone who's gonna buy like 1 or 2 packs, then the tickets will be a great thing for you to do. Or if you're someone who's gonna buy all the packs anyways, it doesn't matter, right? But yeah, that's just my thought process on the things. Where
that's the thing. As a global player, like I can say from experience, there has been a bunch of times where I have bought the ticket packs, I've bought all the sales, like on a stream. It's like, right, come out of the shop. Here we go, guys. We're going to start summoning. And then I pull the new unit from the tickets, and it's a character that I'm maybe not like super hyped for, so I don't really care about chasing dupes and stuff. And so it's like, we pull them off the tickets, and it's like, oh, well, there we go. That's it. Like, I'm done summoning on the banner, but now I still have like 1,000 stones. So now I just get to save those for like whatever comes out next. So it is obviously a thing that is, it's only really for the people that spend. Like someone mentioned in the chat, like, what about free-to-play players? Well, I mean, obviously free-to-play players, you don't buy anything. So, I mean, you can't really say the tickets are like a W or an L. Like, you can't say the tickets are an L just because you can't buy them, because you choose not to buy anything. They're an optional thing that's there for people who do spend money. And if you do spend money, like we said, they are objectively just better than buying stones, because you get more units for the same amount of money, as well as getting those other little like goodies as well. So like for me, if you're somebody who, and again, these are all, it all comes down to how you spend on the game and stuff like that. If you're someone who every time there's a banner, you spend a little bit of money, the tickets are what you should be getting first if you're going to be summoning on that banner. And because people say like, oh, well, I bought all the tickets and I didn't get anything. It's like, well, you can buy 1,000 stones and not get anything. So it's kind of like, it's the RNG is always there, right, for getting shafted on summoning. Plus, I don't think this is as important of a point, but it does also depend on your level. Because if you buy, let's say, all the tickets, I think for the Golden Week banners, if you bought all of the packs, it was 77 tickets in total. So that's the equivalent of, I mean, it's not quite the same units because obviously multis are in multitudes of 10. But let's say it was like 8 multis, right? So that's sorry, not 8, 80, well, 80 units. Yeah, it's 8 multis. So if it was 8 multis, it's close enough, right? 80 units, you'd have got 77 off the tickets. That's 400 stones. In those multis, you're doing 8 multis. Like, realistically, if every single guaranteed SSR at the end of the multi is a character that you don't need and you can trade in for red coins, you're only getting 24 red coins, which, you know, they all build up over time. But I would say, like, saying that tickets are not as good because you're missing out on coins when you're realistically not going to get that many anyway in the same amount of summons. I just think, yeah, I'd rather have 24 less red coins, but have like 24 more dollars. I know that's not exactly the amount, but yeah, to put it in that kind of perspective, like Theo said, I'd rather save real money than have extra red coins, basically. Coins. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I think this is also an L take.
But
it's the point, because like, in a sense, maybe you're rich and you don't care, but
yeah, I think if you this is what I mean, is the tickets the tickets are a luxury item, right? It's for people who spend money on the game already anyway. If you're someone that only spends a little bit of money here and there, then obviously buying the cheaper stone packs and then maybe skipping the banners that are the ones that are kind of easy skips, that's obviously the best strategy if you're someone that only spends a little bit of money. But if you're someone that is in that sort of like, you know, people say like dolphin sort of range, if you're going to be summoning on the banner anyway, then I think tickets is kind of always the way to go. Because then if you do pull the unit, then that's it. You don't have to spend any of your stones and you carry them over to the next like thing, right? So it's, yeah, I think tickets are a massive W as someone that gets to take advantage of them all the time. You know, there's times where I buy all the tickets and I get absolutely nothing. But then there's times where, you know, I've gone 1,000, 2,000 stones on a banner and got nothing. But yeah, there's been the odd occasion where I've been super lucky and even pulled like multiple copies of the new unit off of the tickets. And then it's like, you're just set then and you can save your stones, which is really good. So it's one of those things, it's all relative to how much you spend and what sort of like bracket of like player that you're in. But I think the tickets are definitely good. It's good that they exist. It's good that they're there as an option, obviously for global. You know, like we said before in the previous segment, whilst we joke about the global versus JP stuff all the time, like, you know, as someone who wants everyone to enjoy the game, like I think they should just have the tickets on JP as well, and then everyone could get to take advantage if you are spending players. But yeah, I think the tickets are pretty much always good value to get if you're someone who's going to be spending money anyway. So yeah, unfortunately, as much as I do love my boy AC, this is definitely a certified L take, at least from me. Although I think we all seem to be in pretty much agreement on that point.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing I see, like Raudo saying as well. It's like, I've never been lucky off the tickets, which makes me inclined to agree with the take. But that's kind of one of those things. It's then someone could say, well, I always pull the new unit off the tickets. So
right.
I think it's an L take. Because unfortunately, as we said, is whether it's tickets or stones, RNG going to be RNG at the end of the day. Now, if they did add pity into the game, then the tickets would potentially lose some of their value unless they made them count towards it as well. Which, like I say, they did do that with the Ribrien one, where if you bought the ticket pack, you did actually get some of the pity coins. Yeah. If you used the ticket summon, you got like, I can't remember how many it was, but you got pity coins. Yeah. So
that's cool.
It was actually worth getting the tickets for that reason as well. Because otherwise, I guess that's the whole point, right? Is otherwise it would be counterintuitive. You wouldn't buy the tickets because then you wouldn't be building towards the pity. So the fact that they did that, I think, is really good. So yeah, overall tickets are a W, I think. So well, there you go. Yeah, RNG is RNG at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think this is a big fat
well, what do we always say? We get the
they understood the assignment.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. And we have, yes, it's basically 70-30, but YouTube doesn't like to round up exactly. So certified L take from the panel and from the chat. unfortunately. But yeah, tickets. Maybe one day JP will get them as well. But until then, global spenders can continue to take advantage.
Yep. Hashtag
W.
I
But
guess
not the
that is
take.
global W. You know.
That
What
is
can I
global
say?
W indeed.
Globest.
Yeah, that is the trash takes segment, of course. Now, at the end of the stream, we always do read out all of our donations and super chats. So I do know Ningen has those up available on the side. Whenever he does want to read them out, and then we'll start answering them right away.
All right, so starting from the top here, shout out to everyone, of course, who did support the podcast. We were going to read through all of these now. So we have Drace with the $10 super chat says, I think the Part 2 LR will be a Gohan, Goten, or a Gotenks. Reason why is because of the Gohan, Goku, and Goten Day, as well as the fact that Golden Week holiday has a day or two that celebrates the youth. Because, yeah, I mean, it lines up with the Goku, Gohan, Goten Day with the... Is it Gohan's EZA literally comes out on Gohan Day, right?
Day,
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's interesting. And I know one thing that people mentioned is obviously that Super Saiyan 3 Goku, his art comes from that art of like Goku, Gotenks, and Gohan. So it'd be kind of cool if they kind of finished off that reference and the unit could be like Ultimate Gohan and Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Now, I think their
cool.
links would probably be kind of weird, but that would be a cool unit, like with the Dokkan, like what if super attacks and stuff. That'd be super cool.
That would be cool.
Because remember, we got Bulma last year, but the year before the Golden Week Part 2 LR was the Gohan and Goku from the kind of like what if like Cell didn't kill Goku, and then they do like the father son like Kamehameha where Gohan still goes Super Saiyan 2. Like that was all. I really liked that unit. Like they unfortunately aged a bit quickly, but I do like it when Dokkan does those what if like type things. So yeah, Gohan and Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks together as a Part 2 LR I think would be super cool.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, that'd be certainly interesting to see. Ultimate Gohan I know is one that people are hyped for as well. I know Minato mentioned that earlier. I don't know if we'd see like a Goten. I feel like the Goten's probably not going to be getting a standalone LR anytime soon.
No. I think they mean like Gotenks, but
yeah.
I think
I mean you could Gohan and Goten, but
I feel like Kid Buu would be fine. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But it lining up with
my vote.
Yeah, just please don't do what they did with LR Omega, right? Where the meme finally comes to an end and then the unit is just really disappointing. But,
this is true.
But yeah, we'll see. Shout out to Philip Rodriguez for re-upping his channel membership for 8 months. Hey, he says #Heroes Agenda. That's right. Get the heroes mention in there. You know you love it. Always. What is it now? It's May, so we're only 6 months away from Heroes. Let's go. We're halfway
only
there.
6 months away.
Yeah, we're halfway there.
Oh. You know that one meme? Have you seen that meme before? That's like, funny enough, I just used it for the Ultimate Gohan EZA tweet, where it's like, Christmas is a week away. Wow, only a week away. 6 months away. Wow, only 6 months away.
Hell yeah. Every day we get a day closer to Heroes. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, shout out to Philip. Shout out to Sokodo for the $5. He says, watch, we get an LR Saiyaman as the Part 2 LR instead of LR Kid Buu. I mean, it could happen.
Honestly, I'd be all right with that.
It wouldn't be that bad. I saw a clip that someone posted. It was something to do with, they were talking about Dragon Ball characters being super powerful. And I think it was like a clip of Gohan at school, like tapping his foot and he causes like an earthquake. But it ends with, he runs up to the roof of the school and he like front flips off the roof and like transforms into Saiyaman in midair and like flies away. Like that'd be an awesome Saiyaman unit, like intro animation. That'd be super cool.
That would be sick.
But yeah, I mean, obviously people would rather have something like Kid Buu or Gotenks or something like that. But I mean, a LR Saiyaman could be good. It just definitely would not be like my top pick. But I guess, yeah, we will have to wait and see. I think, was it Bulma came out last year? It was like somewhere between the last 2 years, the Golden Week Part 2 LR has been around like the 13th or the 15th or something like that. So yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But Yeah, so shout out to Sokodo. Shout out to Weeb of Class for the $15. He says, just curious to know if anyone has seen the Ultra Super Villain Vegeta and Rose gameplay from Xenoverse 2. If you think we could see those as animations for future cards. I know I haven't seen much of it. I saw that teaser trailer, but that's about it.
It's not impossible to imagine something like that happening.
I did see what do you call it? I didn't see gameplay, but honestly, the only thing is, as much as I hate to say it, it seems like something that's like super cool in concept, but kind of lame in execution. Like unfortunately, the models are like quite literally just, Vegeta and Goku Black, but like, they basically have the, like the pink hair, and the model is just blackened out, basically. That's like essentially what it is. It's like, it doesn't even, unfortunately, I don't really think the models even look that good. Like, it's like they literally just took a transparent black and slapped it over.
Just Super Saiyan Goku, but blue.
Yeah, but like, I'm saying it looks worse than that.
Yeah, I know. I'm kidding.
I don't know. So I don't know. It would be cool to see like animations from that. But the other thing is, though, I don't know if they would do those as like actual characters. Like, obviously, technically, we have some Xenoverse characters, with like obviously Toa and Mira, but those are also more like, those are also characters that are in a lot of stuff too, that I feel like are more like recognizable than the one thing. Like, kind of like how obviously 21's original in the Fighters, but like she's escaped the Fighters landscape and a lot of people know where she is. I don't know. Dokkan does funny stuff all the time, so I wouldn't be surprised. But
it's not impossible to imagine.
Yeah. Also, I swear I heard a bunch of people saying that a lot of those animations were just literally reused from Rose and Vegeta before. I don't know the validity of that though, because
they did give them some new stuff though. So like using his
that's
yeah. I mean, the thing is,
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, the thing is, we still have a bunch of those older Xenoverse units that need EZAs. So it'd be kind of cool to get another Xenoverse crossover like Celebration. And that could be an excuse to do it, right, with the new stuff that they're bringing out. Because there's like the Super Mirror, Tectoa, the Demon Demigra, and then there's like both the Xeno Trunkses. There's like 5. They're like the 5 characters that have the Xenoverse link, basically. They all still need EZAs. So yeah, it'd be cool to have another Xenoverse crossover Celebration. And I think people would be hyped for. I don't know if that's what the point of the DLC is, because I don't know if they fight each other. But like, imagine if they did a crossover Celebration that just had like whatever that supervillain thing is called. Is it like Ultra Supervillain? Have like Rose and one of them, whether it's one of them's the Dokkan Fest, one of them's the side banner unit, and have Vegeta and Rose as a banner, and then EZA all those Xenoverse characters. I could see that being like relatively popular, because Vegeta and Rose are popular characters, and if they get new cards with that new like Xenoverse stuff, and the cards are actually good, and they've got new names as well, like I could see people being excited for those cards for sure. And then and
not to mention, it's basically Ultra Ego at home, so
exactly, it's the closest we could get to in Dokkan at the moment. But I would hopefully we will see that, but I guess we'll wait and see. I mean, they did go back to and do another Fighters crossover, and we got the Dokkan Fest 21, so never say never, I guess, for another Xenoverse collab, because the game seemingly refuses to die. It's how many years worth of DLC now, so
a lot.
Who knows? So, but shout out to Weeb of Class for that one. Then we have Philip Rodriguez with the $20 super chat. Appreciate you, my dude. He says, I feel this will be the year for Super Baby 1 or 2 Dokkan Fest. Based on what he already leads and categories he's on, what would you like to see? Or if a new one was added, or like a new category. Also, would we see a Super Saiyan 3 Kid Goku potentially opposite? Oh yeah, like Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku. I think we've talked about that in the past quite a bit, like when we were speculating about Golden Week. I could totally see like a Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku versus Baby as a dual Dokkan Fest. But yeah, even if it isn't a duel, like Baby needs to get a Dokkan Fest. Like I say, I did that GT Frieza and Cell showcase today. GT bosses still is just so bad. So a Dokkan Fest Baby would be super good. He's on categories like Revenge, and like he's on Artificial Life Forms, like categories that need more buffs. and like aside from GT bosses, which desperately needs buffs. But yeah, he could be, I think, a very, very good addition to the game because he's one of those characters that's on a lot of categories. He has the good like villain links. So yeah, he's just a character that would be super good. And it seems like we only ever get like Super Baby 2 brackets Grey Ape, right? Because it's like the int one, and then they brought out the LR, and it was the same name. So we need like Super Baby 1 that just transforms into Super Baby 2 or something.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the kid. Well, it's not Kid Goku, is it technically? But GT Goku Super Saiyan 3 that then has like the very first Super Saiyan 4 transformation. That's still something that would be awesome to see in the game that we still don't have, which is kind of crazy when you think about the couple of Super Saiyan 4 Gokus we do have, but we don't have the like original transformation. But yeah, what were you gonna say?
By the way, that reminded me, I wanted to mention something interesting that you talking about Kid Goku reminded me of because of Dragon Ball Daima, actually. So I just wanted to mention this. It's nothing like crazy, and honestly, like we don't even really have to discuss it extensively because it's not even that anything too crazy, I guess. But I just figured it would be interesting to mention because I thought it would be interesting to see saying it now and then seeing what happens later. This will relate to Dokkan, I swear, when I say this. But the first Dragon Ball Daima figures have actually been announced.
Okay.
And what's really interesting about it is that there's probably going to be more than what is this first announcement. It just happens to be the first ones that have been announced. But they announced a 2-pack with Goku and Vegeta. And the interesting thing about it is that they aren't calling them Goku and Vegeta Kid. They're calling them Goku and Vegeta Mini. That is literally what the official wording is for that.
New names.
Which is good. Right, exactly. So
I guess in Dokkan it might be Goku Mini Daima.
Right. I was thinking like, I'm wondering if like those characters are just going to be like, Goku Daima, no matter if Goku gets big again or if he's still small, or if they'll call him Gokan or Gokan. I feel like they'll do Dokkan Mini. Goku Mini. I can't speak.
To be fair, with GT Goku, even though he's a kid, it's like still just Goku GT. So like if it would get an adult Goku from GT, which we never gotten, I don't know if you'd ever get like a how do I explain it, like Goku adult GT, or would they still keep him as Goku GT? It depends, because they can keep him as Goku Daima, and as long as they don't have any plans on doing another one. But Mini is interesting for sure. Like Mini. I thought it was just interesting to mention because I was like, I wonder if Dokkan will do that. Yeah, it was like one tweet from the boy Baggy who like tweets about Dragon Ball figure stuff, and I was like, okay, hold on. That's gonna be a video. That's the discussion.
That you're welcome.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, what do I do on Sunday? And I'll be like, oh,
I'll see if I can't find the tweet for you, so you have the tweet on there as well. But
yeah, that's a video. Watch next week.
There you go, folks. There you go. See, I'm providing the content, ladies and gentlemen. I got you. But anyway, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And that is good though, because that does mean that I would think if they're already planning this far ahead for the Daima stuff for merch, I would think that it's pretty safe to say that then for like other Dragon Ball media and games and stuff like that, they are planning ahead. So I think that's a good sign. I could easily see like I don't know if I would say for New Year's maybe if it would be like a Goku Vegeta duel thing, but I could definitely see towards the end of the year some kind of Daima Goku and Vegeta coming out for sure. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see when we get there. But anyway, I just figured it was mentioned since we were talking about Goku GT and Goku Kid and whatever.
But yeah, definitely be interesting because obviously like when Ultra Instinct was like shown in Super, he came out in the game the next day, so it will be very interesting to see how soon that stuff would come to Dokkan when Daima actually starts up. So yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, in terms of Baby, what do you reckon? Do you think will this be the year? Will we finally get Dokkan Fest Baby?
I hope so. I mean, Dokkan Fest Baby is also a bit of a meme in the community.
Yeah, he's right up there with Kid Buu, so
yeah.
I just got a comment. Buu. So in my Dokkan Fest tier list, this is like completely random. My Dokkan Fest tier list, Buu was at. I had Buu at 1. Buu at 1 is crazy. Bro can get caught by Omega. He needed to be slot 1 and he's not.
Wait, what? Can get caught by Omega? How?
Yep.
By Omega.
How? In the
Bro,
first
who be
phase,
running the Omega stage
in the first,
anyway?
in the first phase, he has type advantage, so he's not getting killed in the first phase.
Well,
And
he's
then
talking
by
about
the
the tech exchange, Boo.
Oh, right.
How?
Yeah, how? You just don't put him in slot 1, like on turn 1, and then you're all good.
Seems a little silly.
Even in turn 1, like you could still tank the super. It hits for like 700k.
Yeah, it's not a hard hitting super attack, is it? Particularly.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, very
Yeah,
random, but
What a goofy goober. I'm a goofy goober. You rock.
Go on Twitter.
But yeah, shout out to Philip for that one. Hopefully, Dokkan Fest Baby will be this year. We'll see. Could you imagine if we end out the year? Not only have we been starting to get these banger EZAs, we've got TEQ Gohan's EZA, which was in a meme in of itself. Imagine if we then actually get like part 2 LR Kid Buu, and then we get Dokkan Fest Baby. Just like all of the memes. Our memes will no longer be dreams. It'll be super good.
We'll have to acquire some new Dokkan memes, I guess.
But yeah, shout out to Philip. Hopefully we see that this year. But I guess, yeah, wait and see. Then we have Drace with a $2 super chat. Says Gohan causing chaos just like he did back then is funny. Yep, TEQ Gohan again, dominating the discourse at the moment. Certainly going to be fun to get him.
I just love how Buu came out and people are still talking about Gohan more. It's
all the jokes, right? Though it's like we got his details, and then a couple of days later, it's like, well, the Buu gets to be like the best EZA potentially for like a week, and then Gohan comes out. So
and then the goat makes his.
I mean, it's pretty thematic though, right? Like Super Buu being the. Super Buu being top dog, and then Ultimate Gohan shows up, and it's just like, nah, sorry, buddy.
Fight you? No, I'm here to kill you,
dude. That line goes so hard in there. That's such a great dub line. Yeah, I love it. But yeah, and then Drace with another $2 says thoughts on Tanabata's placement on Global. So I know this is a big one that we talked about before because. Yeah, when the games sync by worldwide, it means in theory we get to like September. And the games should be synced, but then for global, we normally get Tanabata in November. So
I think there's two things that's going to happen. One, I think that two things are going to happen. One, I think that the global is just going to get Tanabata next. And it's going to be crazy. Imagine this global gets Tanabata in
God,
June,
please no.
Anniversary. Then, at the end of August, it's worldwide. Or
my wallet can't handle that. No.
Or global doesn't get Tanabata. Like, as in, like, they literally, like...
Did I get them ever?
Like, literally...
they
like,
never come out.
Because, like, I don't know what if the schedules are going to be synced from now on, they literally, like, aren't going to bring out the Tanabata banner.
So the rumors that I've heard some things about, like... So, everything new that's coming out is going to be synced. But that doesn't mean that Global still won't be dropping some random stuff that is still behind, right? Like the games that aren't necessarily going to be fully lined up.
It's going to be weird.
Which will be awkward for Global because it means we'll be in situations like we are now where we'll get, like with Rose, like the Tanabata could come out literally in the middle of another celebration, which would be kind of awkward for Global. But
I mean, yeah, they could do that, I guess, right? It'd just be so weird how they're gonna like schedule. Like maybe Tanabata banner comes out on like in November for global, or again global gets like some huge sync banner. Like what if like in how do I explain it? Like what could they do? They could like in August, right between like imagine in August, right between worldwide and anniversary, it's a Tanabata sync banner, and then they put like the Tanabata in it, and then the missing Dokkan Fest on there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's weird. There's a couple of ways that they could try and catch it up. It's just awkward. It's like we said many times with the sync, where it's like there's going to be that weird awkwardness and like a bit of pain, but like doing the sync. But then once we've moved past that point, then it'll be fine. But
I think
at the moment it's super awkward.
Is global I would not be shocked if global gets Tanabata first.
It's just fitting it in though is the problem, because if we're trying to get synced by a certain point, or trying to at least,
it's like okay,
We
to
got
fit-
Frieza, and in theory, if we go by the last couple of years, it should be Frieza and then Ginyu, and then the LR Ginyu, and then the anniversary.
I mean, it'd be crazy,
but-
but like, let's say they do Tanabata for July's anniversary, and then like, okay,
Yeah,
they could do
please no.
Tanabata Tanabata drops on like May 30th. The Part 2 LR comes out on like June 12th. Then they drop Dokkan Transform Frieza on like the 24th. The anniversary banners comes out on July 7th. And
Oh
then
my
that's like 2
God.
weeks for Frieza. And then
They get
Like-
sweating in his boots right now, bro.
and then they like fit
Or
in like
quaking in his
Toppo
boots.
and like the other Dokkan Festival. I don't know what they're gonna do. They have to do like a sync banner. That's what has happened.
Yeah.
A sync banner.
But yeah,
That's
that is the one big thing that's still like the major unknown, right? Like everything else, there's kind of ways to think about, like, well, this fits in here and stuff like that. But yeah, the Tanabata is the weird one.
Yeah.
And it's always awkward for global because for those of us who are very interested in, you know, going all in for the heroes characters, the fact that Tanabata comes out in November and is usually pretty good, makes November quite a busy month as well, which for global, of course, is right after the worldwide celebration. So it's,
Yep.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do and how they do it. But yeah, I mean, because it's the fact that it's 2 units as well, isn't it? It's like it's a Dokkan Fest exclusive LR and then a Part 2 Carnival LR. So that it's not like they can just fit it into one space as well, like 1 week in between 2 things, right? Like it's its own pretty sizable celebration. The one thing I was thinking about as well, which kind of ties into that a little bit, is like, what do you think the chances are that the Part 2 LR for Golden Week is a Carnival LR? Or do you think it will still be a yellow
I think
coin?
it's gonna be golden
Because
I think it's gonna be yellow coin.
the
But
reason-
they could do.
I was going to say, the reason why I say that is just because we've gotten a couple of Carnival LRs that the solo ones, it feels like we need to have more solo Carnival LRs coming out because otherwise there's no opportunities for the older ones to come back. Because like on Global, I think on both versions, the LR Super Saiyans haven't come back because they came out in December. And on
But, like,
Global,
the thing
Omega
is-
hasn't come back. So it's like we need to have another solo Carnival banner somewhere, otherwise these units can't come back to be summoned again. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the thing is,
Yellow
that
coin
Omega,
is-
Omega and the Super Saiyan trio would return on the Tanabata banner.
yeah,
Like on Global, we don't know what that's going to be. That's the issue.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
on JP, we know where they're going to come
Right.
back. In Global, who knows?
which is crazy because if it was sticking to like the original sort of thing where the Tanabata's in November, that means we've got like the Carnival LR that came out in December 2023 and then doesn't return on a banner until November 2024 is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, in terms of from the perspective of players, even myself, right, it probably is better for pulling the LR that the Part 2 LR is a yellow coin because then we get like the pity and everything. Because like imagine if that had been instigated for last year, like actually being able to guarantee that you get Bulma within like a certain number of stones with how good
True.
that she was. Like if the Part 2 for this Golden Week is on that same sort of level where the unit is in consideration for being potentially the best unit in the game and you're guaranteed to get them if you spend like a certain amount of stones, like that's going to be super good for all players. But yeah, going off on a bit of a tangent there, but the main point of the question, Tanabata, that is still probably the single biggest question mark for Global, is where are they going to fit that in for this year? Because then of course when we get to next year it'll all be same time, so none of that will matter. But
Yeah.
that's like the biggest unknown currently for Global. But yeah, that's it for all of the super chats and shout outs. So thank you very much to all of you guys for helping to support the show and contributing. We appreciate you all very much.
Yes,
I
sir.
agree. So that is it for the show. That's all the segments. Again, want to thank you so much to everyone who stopped by just by watching the podcast. We are just directly supported and we appreciate you all. We'll be back next week. TEQ Gohan will be out.
I
We'll
know.
potentially even have a teaser for the Part 2 LR, right? Because by
Mm,
next week it'll be the 10th and the
true.
LR
Yeah.
might come around like the 14th ish.
Huh.
around
Yeah, I
there.
guess that's true.
So
Interesting.
we could potentially have a teaser. Who knows? Nothing confirmed, right? But we'll see.
And listen, if it's Kid Buu, they need to be teasing it like crazy because I need to know.
There you go. But that is me, the Mass Ningen and Dokkan Assets, of course, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Have
Peace
a
out.
good one.
See ya.